guessing it wasn't working.
Good. No. All right. Good afternoon,
Top of the
everybody.
evening to ya all.
I'm Angel Rivera alongside Miss Witchy Perfect and Alex Knight. And today's Halloween. So happy Halloween to everybody if you celebrate it. If not,
There.
that's fine. But yeah, I hope everybody had a great week. And we got plenty to talk about this week, from the government shutdown causing over 40 million Americans to very likely lose their SNAP benefits tomorrow,
Yep.
to Russia.
My neighbors being one of them.
Uh, yeah, and I know plenty of people too, and we're one here at the house too. So,
Thank you,
Also,
Mouse.
we're part of that 40 million.
Katie
Also,
Miller being a bitch towards Cenk Uygur and that other guy. Um,
Who's being a bitch to Cenk
Oh.
Uygur?
no,
I don't know.
yeah, when she was accusing them of being anti-Semitic when they called her out for her lies. You know, she's the wife of Stephen Miller.
Oh, Stephen Miller. What
Oh
an
yeah,
asshole.
so I saw that. Nah, Jenk deserves it.
Anyway,
So
that
No,
little
no, no,
bitch.
no,
any,
no, 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 no. She deserved it.
Oh yeah, she deserved it.
I,
They're all
I saw
bitches.
I saw your tweet, Angel, and that I don't know why you posted that.
What?
When he
I didn't
said,
say
Jake, you said something like Jake should be deported with the Trump gift. I was like,
it was a joke.
Oh,
It was a
bam.
joke.
Bam.
But yeah, I mean, it was a joke. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for Jenk, so it's not like I actively want him to.
I don't like Cenk Uygur
Why
either. But
does Jank want to deport a bunch of people? That's like the pot calling the kettle black.
yeah,
Because he's an immigrant too, right?
yeah.
Wow.
So also, U.S. strikes on mainland Venezuela are imminent, apparently, according to media reports. So
Of course.
it's a matter of time before you begin another war. So and the next war is against Venezuela. So that's something else. Also, we'll get to some other stuff.
Also,
There's so many.
the UAE is genociding Sudan right now. If that's how you pronounce it, Sudan.
Oh, yeah. We'll also get to we'll get some digital ID stories as well. We also
Yeah.
have
Yeah, I have a
Turkey.
lot to say about that.
We have Turkey urging Germany to help end Israel's genocide in Gaza. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why Erdogan is trying to do that. That's not going to work. But
you
we're losing my
sound
voice.
like Stone Cold when he's like,
I don't know why I was losing my voice already. The show barely just started, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna take this off. I'm sorry, it's hurting my head, y'all.
All right, let's see. We have Earl here.
But
We
you're
have
solid.
Fred. We have
Solid.
Fred, Dabby, Mouse. How we doing? Make sure you like and subscribe as well. So,
yeah,
so
we
let's.
might also want to discuss how Cash Patel and the FBI are blocking the Charlie Kirk investigation.
No.
And then I don't remember who that guy's name is, but he was working with Tulsi Gabbard, working on the case, and she was supposed to be a partner with Tulsi Gabbard or something, but Tulsi Gabbard kind of threw him under the bus. That's what I read. Jimmy Dore Due Dissidents made a video about that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's start off with the food stamp, aka SNAP situation. I mean,
in fact, I'll probably send you a link for that in the message. You the link, maybe if I find it. So.
Okay. Anyways, the SNAP situation. Tomorrow is November 1st, and usually people's SNAP benefits come in at the beginning of the month. So there's a shutdown. Obviously, it's been nearly a month, and there's no money. There's no funding for next month's food stamp benefits, and there's over 40 million Americans who rely on that program. Feeding them more families.
Right.
So, anyways, tomorrow, there's the administration is in their heels of not using USD. They have emergency money just in case this happens. So they can fund the program for another month during the shutdown, but the administration is not releasing that money. Who knows why?
No, they
I mean,
want
they have
poor people
excuses.
to die. They want people to starve to death. I literally, I have talked to my neighbors about this, and they were like, telling me the ins and outs of, we don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to rely on charity. And there is a local Christian
Yeah.
church charity that does allow you to go shopping, but they only have a limited supply. And here's the problem, guys. When are people going to stand up and say no more? I am tired of living in squalor. I am tired of going hungry. Now the rich, we're coming after you, motherfuckers, because you're the fucking pedophiles and you're the one who are literally making us live like this. When are people going to wake up and realize the rich do not care about you? Trump is doing a whole new fucking ballroom. You think he gives a fuck if you get your fucking snaps or not? Wake up, sheeple. They don't give a fuck about you. God damn it.
I think we can't overlook too the fact that the
ignore
president
that.
is making deal after
I'm
deal
sorry,
after
what?
deal, bringing
No,
trillions
ignore
of
that. I
dollars.
don't want that video to play. I just wanted to get rid of this. Anyways, wanted to get. Mouse says I have about 3 weeks left on my EBT card. I get 100% of my food from Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get. I have some money left over from last month, so it's like I may what we do with that, but that's at least for this month. After we're pretty screwed. So this is news. I don't know if this is good news or not because, quite frankly, just because a judge rules something doesn't mean the administration is actually going to follow it. So
We can't see ourselves on the screen, though.
Well, not only that, but take what Fox News says with a grain of salt. Yeah. Judges say one thing and Trump says another, and poor people still lose out. So,
two judges ruled Trump admin must keep SNAP benefits in place. Drags on. Federal judge Massachusetts seems sympathetic to the arguments made by 25 Democratic state leaders during an emergency hearing over the SNAP benefits. So 25 states are suing, all blue states, by the way, suing Trump administration over their refusal
because
to
red
fund the
states
SNAP
seem to think
program.
that their people can just deal with going hungry. You should pull your shit up by your bootstraps, poor people. Yeah, we ain't got no fucking boots, you assholes.
So I just want to interrupt for a second. I sent you the link, Angel, from the New York Times. You'll have to just create a free account to see all of it. You don't have to pay for it, but to see all of it, you'll just have to create a free account.
A federal judge ordered the administration to continue funding the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, aka SNAP, or during the ongoing government shutdown, delivering near-term relief to roughly 42 million Americans who were AIDS just hours before the funding was slated to dry up. The emergency order from U.S. District Court Judge Idria Talwani said the Trump administration must resume SNAP benefits, which were slated to expire November 1st, ruling that plaintiffs who filed the lawsuits are likely to succeed on their claims that the suspension of the benefits is unlawful. She ordered the court no later than Monday, November 3rd, with additional details on how it plans to keep the program funded and whether the appropriated benefits will be distributed in full or in part. Don't hold your breath, sweetheart, on it, but
they don't care. They're getting a new ballroom. That's their contribution. There you go.
Moments later, a separate federal judge in Rhode Island ordered the Trump administration to continue paying for food stamps during the shutdown. U.S. District Court Judge John said the administration must tap into emergency funds to pay for SNAP benefits as soon as possible. Next month, he issued the bench Friday during an emergency court hearing in Providence, Rhode Island. So that's 3 different states, 3 different federal judges that have ruled that Trump needs to continue funding the food stamp program. Talwani argued Thursday from the Trump administration and formed a coalition of 25 Democratic governors and states attorney generals who sued the U.S. Department of Agriculture over its refusal to keep SNAP benefits funded during the ongoing government shutdown. The benefits were slated to expire November 1st, making the first time in 60 years the program lapsed because of a government shutdown. Talwani seemed sympathetic to the state's arguments on Thursday. It's hard for me to understand an emergency when there's no money and a lot of people need their SNAP benefits, she said in court, vowing to rule as soon as possible on the matter.
If I can just interrupt for a second, what is the argument on this? What is the the defense argument on this. Oh, by the way, these poor people, they're just faking. Fuck poor people. That's what they literally should say. That's what the argument should be. If you are going to counter argue this, you might as well just say, we hate poor people. They're cockroaches. Go fuck yourselves.
The argument from the article on this is basically, well, the government shut down. We have no funding.
Bullshit.
And we can't use the USDA needed for hurricane. Because
Bullshit.
they destroyed.
There's no hurricanes.
They need it for a future alleged hurricane in the future, basically. So because they destroyed FEMA too, it's another issue.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. And then they'll say when a hurricane does come and destroys half of Florida again, they'll say, "Oh well, fuck Florida."
Yep. State leaders said the lawsuit that suspending aid would disproportionately harm some tens of millions of vulnerable low-income Americans in their state, because the USDA action benefits will be delayed for the first time since the program inception. They said in the lawsuit filed Tuesday. Worse still, USDA suspended SNAP benefits on information and belief it has the funds available to cover it that are sufficient to fund all or at least the SNAP benefits. They added, yeah, the USDA has funding for emergencies like this during a government shutdown.
They ain't going to spend it on poor people.
It just won't release it because they need it for an alleged eventual hurricane down the line. So
no, they need it to give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. The rich people need it more than you poor people. Why can't you just understand that?
Let me revise that. That's the excuse they're using on why they don't want to release the money. So
I call bullshit on that because they still haven't cleaned up from Katrina. They still haven't cleaned up from what the hell was the one in Houston that devastated Texas. I can't remember, but they still haven't cleaned up from that. They still haven't cleaned up Puerto Rico. For fuck's sake, there's people in New Jersey who still don't have power from Sandy.
Speaking of New Jersey, Angel, I'm sure you've seen the recent clip where I remember the female running for governor New Jersey, where she, on Breakfast Club, I think that's what it's called, she was asked about the stock trading. And she was struggling to answer that question, and then
she's gonna lose. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna get to that, but she's gonna lose. I mean,
I would rather vote for a plant.
You saw my link, by the way, right, Angel? That I sent.
Yeah. I'm finished. Yeah,
I was just asking.
No.
I know.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. The lawsuit was filed several days ago after Trump administration said last week it would not use the Agricultural Department roughly $5 billion contingency fund to cover food stamp benefits provided by SNAP for the month of November. That's enough for a month at least to fund the program for a month, but nope, they won't do it. Instead, officials said the agency is planning to keep it on hand for response to natural disasters.
But they don't clean up disasters either.
And the United States have asked Talwani to order Trump administration to release the U.S. agency funds to help ensure there's not a lapse in SNAP benefit programs. SNAP program benefits beginning November 1st. Shutting off SNAP benefits will cause a deterioration of public health and well-being. They said in the lawsuit.
Don't give a fuck.
The USDA for its part. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Angel. No, this is pissing me off.
Had no details in the policy decision not to funnel the contingency plan funds to SNAP beneficiaries. A note on the website is that the well is run dry.
In their heads.
At this time, there are no benefits to be issued November 1st, the agency said. The Justice Department has not yet said whether it would appeal either the First Circuit Court of Appeals. So, this is developing, but that's one article. I mean, we can... So, let's see here.
Wait, did it say November 01? Is that what I just saw?
Yeah, November 1st.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you. That's what that's
November. Why didn't it say November 1st and said November 01? What the fuck?
People can't type. Apparently, they can't proofread either.
How do we still see those things?
Yeah,
because people can't literally.
I assume it meant November 1st. That's why I kind of read it November 1st. But
yeah.
I have a friend who has a birthday tomorrow. He'll be 40.
Wow. Oh, happy birthday. So let's see. So this is the question. What's next? Because
What's next? People
You're
go
next.
hungry. And Brian Kilmeade will literally come on himself because, hey, we're killing the poor. That's what he'll do. Brian Kilmeade is literally, he might as well be a prophet because they don't care about you. They don't care about you. They hate you. They
We
want
should
you
kill.
to perish.
We should kill him.
I say we chop off their heads until they listen to us.
So what's next after SNAP benefits dry up? This is going to be a lapse. Now the question is, what do we do? I'm telling you something right now. There's
People
going to
need to
be a
be in the
rush.
streets. That's what we
No,
do.
there's going to be a rush on food pantries. And imagine
Yeah.
how bad it was during the pandemic. It's going to be worse because people rely on there for food. In fact, a mouse in the chat said he relies on food stamps entirely for his food.
Right. And I just said my neighbors literally said, I said, are you just going to go to CrossNet, which is the local place around here that is charity? And she said, well, everything was like bare. Yeah, that's because people know that they're not going to get their snaps because, again, people don't care about you. The rich do not care. Brian Kilmeade said on public TV, he does not like you. He wants you dead. He wants to delete you. Him and the rich people, they hate you. They think you're cockroaches.
So, roughly 42 million Americans rely on food stamps that arrive every month on their electronic benefits transfer cards, aka EBT card, on November 1st, that is set to abruptly stop amid an ongoing U.S. government shutdown, potentially leaving households scrambling to figure out how to put food on the table. People enrolled in SNAP told CBS News that they're bracing for some tough financial choices. A 42-year-old single mom who lived in Buckfield, Maine, said she's planning on delaying paying for her electric bill and credit card bills to make sure her two children have enough to eat. This is the impossible choice people have to make now. I mean, because I can't pay the credit card or the electric bill because I got to feed my kids, so I don't have enough money for everything.
I got to feed my kids and myself. That's right.
Yeah. Now we have to prioritize which bills we can pay and which can wait. She works at a Maine Social Services Agency who draws about $600 a month in SNAP benefits. My children won't go hungry, she said. So
yeah, but your electric will get turned off. Guess what?
Yeah,
you're fucked no matter what you do.
That's the catch-22 because it's like you don't pay electric bill, that's going to be cut off too, and all the food will go bad. So, she's making. I'm not saying she's making the wrong call there, but
no, she's doing what she needs to do. And here's the thing: this is what makes it hard on working class mothers like me. We're just working to try to feed our families. And here's the thing: the rich don't care. The rich don't care. They want your kid taken from you so they can put him in the trafficking. So they can literally screw them. They can rape them. Your kids, they want your kids. They don't want you to have them. They want them.
So this is the
That's why they're pedophiles.
This is the percentages of the country which each state's receiving food stamps. So enrollment in SNAP varies state by state, with New Mexico having the highest share of residents receiving benefits at 21.5%. The Trump administration says food stamp will be paid on November 1st through the government shutdown. So New Mexico has the highest rate. 21% of their citizens are on food stamps. That's a shockingly high number.
Oh my God! Look at Pennsylvania. Look at New York.
Yeah, 15% in Pennsylvania, 14.9% in New York. New Jersey has 8.7%.
Jesus Christ. There's going to be a lot of people going hungry. I'm telling you. And even food banks, like Snork said.
They're going to go bare, empty. Because you're already seeing it. In my home state, only 8.7% receiving SNAP.
What's the percentage in California?
13.9%. 14% basically receiving food stamps, some sort of food stamps. And Louisiana is 17.5%. These states here, Nebraska, Kansas, Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, they're really low. I get Minnesota's low. I'm surprised, a blue state.
Minnesota.
Yeah, it's because these are red states here, and Republicans, it's difficult to get food stamps anyway out of them. So the suspension of food aid comes as Democratic and Republican lawmakers continue to trade blame over the government shutdown, which now stands at the second longest funding lapse in U.S. history. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, which funds the SNAP program, warned earlier this month there would be insufficient funding to pay full November benefits if the shutdown continued, prompting local governments to post notices on their websites about the potential interruption in payments. Here's the thing: it's unfair to. I don't like the word they use, benefits, because it's like it seems like This is not something we need. It's something that is extra, but it's not. It's something
Right.
people desperately need to feed themselves and their
Right.
families. So
Right.
benefit, calling it benefit, is just not. I don't think it's a fair word to use. I
Well,
think it's a
they're going to
necessity
say
at this
that
point.
because, again, you are the poor people. We are the poor people. And, well, it's a benefit for you, but, the rich don't think it's that way. They call it a benefit because the rich think that we're just leeching off of them. These
I'm not.
poors, they should just be put out of their misery. These leeches. Ugh. I remember, if I could just say real quickly, I remember because there was a comment about, candy, Halloween candy being like $20 and $30. My son and I went to at least maybe 5 houses, and that's it. Everyone else had their freaking lights off. But I remember
Yeah.
a story once it was a few years ago, before my son was born. They did Fox News did a report about how these kids going out for Halloween, they're just getting free candy, these fucking freeloaders. Oh my gosh, us rich people are so inconvenienced. I went, go fuck yourselves. Literally,
The
seriously,
Fox.
go fuck yourselves. Saying
Yep.
that my son is
No,
a fucking leech. Why don't you go suck a dick, motherfucker? How
the
Is
about
that
bottom
that?
one or
line.
is that one or two?
One.
The bottom
I'm
line
far
is
behind
I love
here. I'm trying
I
to contain my anger right now.
I just don't like how this is so callous here from the USDA. Oh, the bottom line is the well rise run dry.
And
In a
that's
memo
the
posted
bottom
Sunday on
line.
their
Well, whose
website.
fault is that? It's not the poor people's fault. It's y'all's fault. But you don't give a fuck about poor people. So, yeah, I'm literally like,
Quote,
my hands are like this. Okay.
yeah,
So, yes.
it's quote, at this time there'll be no benefits issued November 1st, unquote. The stop of
Again,
the SNAP
November
payments on
01.
Saturday.
Again,
It's
they
just
don't, they don't
I don't know
procreate.
why they put it 01, but I just read it. I just corrected in my head until you said it. I didn't really notice. The
Fucking
stop on
retards. Yes,
benefits
I said
on
retards.
the SNAP payments on Saturday isn't guaranteed. There's 2 federal judges that ruled that Trump is required to use contingency funds to fund SNAP. Let's see. I don't think that's going to happen though. The
Nope.
government must respond by Monday whether there's plans to allocate money to continue payments.
And they're
Democratic
going to say,
lawmakers
go fuck yourselves.
Democratic lawmakers have asked the USDA to use contingency funds to most of next month's SNAP benefits. But an agency memo surfaced on Friday says that the contingency funds are not legally available to cover the benefits, even though it literally is for that. It's literally for that, just in case a shutdown happens again. That's what the contingency funds are for. It's oh no, but we can't use it for that legally. He's like, but it says that yes, you can. That's literally what it's for. That extra money. That's $5 billion. The document says the money is reserved for such things as helping people in disaster areas, which, by the way, they won't do either. So, let's see. That's meaning November 1st, the government will halt about $8 billion in monthly
Now he
SNAP
puts November
payments.
1st.
Cutting off food assistance for 1 in 8 Americans who are enrolled in the program. Recipients who include households in every state typically get $187 a month on a prepaid card to help cover the cost of groceries. Unused benefits on SNAP recipients card will roll over into November. So if you have any unused SNAP benefits from this month, it'll roll over to November. So my advice, if you do have SNAP benefits, save them for next month. That way you get some food at least. And hopefully this shit will be solved before then, before you run out. But that money's already been appropriated. It's been put on their card. So definitely not want people rushing out to try to use up their benefits at the end of October, thinking you're not going to be able to buy any in November. The USDA says it's incumbent on Democrats in Congress to end the government shutdown. Here's the thing. I mean, why I don't even know why shutdown's happening now. What's the excuse? What they're fighting over Obamacare funding? Is that it? I mean, 'cause I don't even know what the hell's going on with this shutdown. I've not really paid attention to it until now because people are going to lose their food stamps and people are not going to be able to eat. So that's why I'm kind of paying attention to it now. But is it really about Obamacare funding? Like, is that really what they're really squabbling about in Washington?
I don't even know.
Like, what difference does it make? I mean, it's like just the Republicans. They're both like digging in their heels. Like, we want Obamacare funding. It's like we're not going to give it to you. Okay, keep the government shut down. Okay, so they are kind of like giving up and not even negotiating anymore. And we are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats continue to hold out for the far left wing of the party to or reopen the government so mothers and babies and the most vulnerable among us can receive timely SNAP benefits and other federal food aid, the agency said in a statement to CBS News. Some U.S. states, including Louisiana, Vermont, Virginia, vowed to continue dispersing SNAP benefits, even the federal government suspended payments. Food assistance also recently committed to provide more in support for food banks. They be reimbursed for temporarily providing food aid to residents, raising questions of the viability of that approach. Other states are taking legal action. So, 25 states and District of Columbia on Tuesday sued the Trump administration, alleging that the suspension of food stamps is unlawful and threatens the health and well-being of millions. This
Yeah,
$5 billion, blah, blah, blah.
I'm sorry,
I
guys.
don't know why.
Hang on a second.
I mean, my mic is dead. I mean, not even my face right now.
no,
So,
Steph, your mic's fine. I was talking about Angel.
yeah, my mic is nowhere near me, so I don't know why it's popping. I mean,
Yeah, because that's what Dabby
and I
said.
and I have the anti-pop thing on it too. So really, oops. So it should be fine now. Where I'm gonna get the food from? You know, we have a mother here, mother of four, 45, who left job as a security officer last month to care for one of her children who has epilepsy. She says she has the $549 she gets monthly SNAP benefits to feed her family. I was freaking out because I'm like, now I don't have a job and I'm not worried about myself that much. It's about the kids, where I'm going to get the food from. Sutton said she's looking for a food bank to help fill the gap if her food aid is cut off. But experts warned that the nonprofit organizations alone aren't capable of filling the $8 billion monthly hole left by a looming SNAP suspension. The charitable food system and food banks don't have the resources to replace all these food dollars. The CEO of Vermont Food Bank in Bear, Vermont, told CBS News already food banks are getting influx of calls from SNAP recipients who are worried about the payment freeze, and food shelves could see long lines next month if the shutdown persists. There are no safety net after SNAP other than the food shelves, he added. Albuquerque, New Mexico Food Bank, which typically serves 83,000 households per week, is seeing panic among residents due to the SNAP halt. And the vice president, blah, another director of the Share Food program in Philadelphia, has also noticed an uptick in demand. He told CBS News in a text message that some of the pantries the Hunger Relief Non-Network works with have reported 12-fold increases in new registrations week to week. Jesus. Even before the new surge in demand, food banks are already facing pressure. There's a growing number of people seeking out the services, aggravated this year by inflation and funding constraints in March. The USDA said it was nixing a $420 million funding for a program that allows food banks to buy food directly from local farms, ranchers, and producers. So no, you can't even get the $420 million for food banks to buy from local farms. So can't even do that either now. Broader economic impact. Temporary halt and $8 billion in monthly food aid could also impact local businesses, from grocers to farm stands. Each dollar in food SNAP benefits provide an economic benefit of $1.60, referring to the so-called multiplier effect, which dollars flowing to the local economy help support spending and job growth. Blah blah blah. So yeah, the food stamps being cut off, and as far as I know, there's no indication on. There's a couple of rulings out there that basically said the administration has to continue funding, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. So let's see here. Several of my students have two jobs. Their tuition is paid because my majors are considered necessary. I went to a food bank San Francisco for 6 years. Number of people using it tripled during that time. Yeah, I mean, not getting any better. In fact, it's going to get worse over here. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me do this. Really? Okay, let me hold on. Yeah, so there you go. Food stamps are completely fucked, and I don't. And let's see what's next this week. Oh, here we go. Uh, what about? I'm losing the article. Hold on. Here we go. Let's just do this. I was gonna do the digital ID thing, but Witchy's gone. I'll do it when she gets back. So where is? Hold on. So yeah, so the U.S. military is now. Hold on a second. The U.S. military is now doing let's see. Marines fires HIMARS for the first time near Mount Fuji. So they're now doing military testing next to Mount Fuji. So
Why?
let's see. Don't know. The U.S. Marines conducted a landmark training exercise which saw them fire the high mobility artillery rocket system for the first time while near the base of Mount Fuji, Japan. Marines of the 3rd Battalion, 12th Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Division unleashed HIMARS missiles during a live fire training at Camp Fuji on October 27th. Although location has been used for a training ground for a wide variety of U.S. military exercises, this live fire drill is the first instance of which Marines have practiced firing long range missiles from the area. Training at Katsi Fuji is critical for the U.S. Marine Corps. Only forward deployed artillery unit to rehearse the project and project long range precision fires, Major General Kyle Ellison, Commanding General 3rd Marine Division, said in a release. This training is fundamental to enhancing the 312's agility and flexibility, ensuring they can safely and rapidly generate combat power in support of the joint force. The HIMARS system is a mobile artillery platform that is highly versatile in terms of maneuverability and especially with the capability of delivering effective long-range strikes of different munitions. Some of the precision guided missiles it can strike with include the guided multiple launch rockets, in which is equipped with 200-pound warhead, the Army Tactical Missile System, which can strike deep behind enemy lines, and an entire range of rockets belonging to the multiple launch rocket system family. It can also be used to fire precision strike missiles, which can destroy targets over 248 miles away. The PRSM was recently tested in New Mexico's White Sands missile range at the end of September and demonstrated the power and precision at striking long range objectives. The live fire exercise near Mount Fuji comes amid unprecedented tensions in the Indo-Pacific region. In May, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth released a joint statement with the defense ministers of Japan, Australia, the Philippines, condemning China's destabilizing actions in East China Sea and the China South Sea, or the South China Sea, and any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or corrosion, which is ironic coming from the U.S. Um, Repeated intrusions by Chinese aircraft into Japanese airspace and clashes between Chinese and Philippine vessels in the South China Sea in recent months are among many factors that have raised Japan's national security concerns.
Yeah,
According to
get this, Steph.
2025,
The Marines are now in Mount Fuji for whatever reason.
they're testing around Mount Fuji their missiles. So,
Yeah.
and what I'm worried about, they accidentally hit Mount Fuji and then ruin a beautiful.
Did you hear me, Steph?
Hmm?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
My ex is accusing me of something I didn't do, so I'm
Yep.
sorry.
That's
Oh,
all right. Facing its most severe and complex security environment since the end of World War II, Japan is seeking to deepen its tie with the United States, improving interoperability with international forces and revamp its defense capabilities. The report notes that Japan plans to strengthen its entire defense architecture to increase cooperation with the United States in air and missile defense capabilities. Japan will further deepen discussion with the U.S. on each country's respective role, missions, capabilities to further reinforce Japan-U.S. joint deterrence capabilities. So I don't. The U.S. gave back Okinawa to Japan like 10 years ago, and the Japanese, instead of running away from the U.S., are getting closer to the U.S. So that tells me everything I need to
Hey,
know. Like
CBC.
that tells me everything I need to know. Like they have They might as well let the U.S. keep Okinawa then, because we basically were running that island.
And of course, Japan has a new prime minister who's pretty much their version of Margaret Thatcher or whatever her name is. Is that right?
Oh God.
Yeah. So, yeah, Japan is going further and further to the right, especially with I forget his name, the last prime minister. I forget his
Yeah,
name
the
right
one who
now.
said, we're gonna say sorry to all the people that we screwed over during the pandemic. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, that. So he's pretty right wing
Yeah,
too.
that bitch.
So yeah, Japan is going further to the right, and now they're in their constitution they have a pacifist, so they don't have a standing military really now. But now it looks like they're going to because they're backing off of that. So yeah, that's that.
I guess
Japan.
Godzilla needs to try to destroy their city again, or state, whatever, or country.
Oken.
They're coming for you. I'm telling you. You will own nothing, be happy, and eat the bugs.
Here it is.
Apple. Apple says U.S. passport digital IDs are coming to the wallet soon. This is from a few days ago, but
Don't fall for it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Put the phone down.
well, yeah, it says here Apple said will soon introduce an Apple Wallet feature that will allow U.S. users to create a digital ID using their passports, which will then be able to use at select TSA checkpoints for domestic travel. The feature, previously announced as part of the iOS 26 release, comes on at the heels of Apple's expansion of Wallet as more than a payment mechanism or ticket holder, but is also a secure place to store users' digital identity. Currently, support for government IDs in Apple Wallet has rolled out to 12 states and
Calm
Puerto
down
Rico,
there, Steph. Take it easy.
or roughly a third of U.S. license holders. However, the passport tied digital ID feature didn't arrive with the debut of iOS 26, as Apple said it would come in a future software update. So, yeah, it's a matter of time. It's only been in states in Puerto Rico. We don't have it here in New Jersey as of now, but in one of the 12 states. I read which 12 states it is. I forget right now, but while the new digital IDs won't replace a U.S. passport, they could allow travelers to move through TSA checkpoints more quickly, alongside Wallet's existing support for digital boarding passes. The change was particularly urgent given the Real ID rules, which began enforcement in May, rendering many state IDs insufficient for TSA checkpoints. The coming launch of the passport and associated digital IDs were announced on Sunday by Jennifer Bailey, VP of Apple Pay and Apple Wallet, at the Money 2020 USA conference, where the executive also shared other stats about Wallet's adaptation or adoption. Blah blah blah. For instance, he noted Apple Pay was now live in 89 markets around the world, with over 11,000 banks and networks supporting Apple Pay, including 15 domestic networks. In addition, 90% of U.S. retailers support Apple Pay, up from 3% at launch 11 years ago. Daily also payment for Wallet, hotel keys, and more. Transit options supported across more than 250 regions, cities, supporting more than 65,000 hotel rooms. 29 car manufacturers, 100 models now support the car key in the wallet, according to the exec. Who gives a fuck? Now, let's see. So,
Is that the end? Because
yeah.
I'm gonna spaz out now. Okay, here we go. Guys, we have fucking birth certificates. That's what they're fucking made for. They're made so you could go get a fucking passport so you can get through to where you need to go. You don't need a fucking digital ID. You don't need it. You know why? Because if you get a digital ID, here's what's going to happen. You're going to literally have the government telling you what you can and cannot buy, where you can and cannot go, and you're literally going to be a slave. You're going to be a slave. You can't buy meat. You can't buy dairy. Guess what? You're not going to be buying shit. You're going to be eating the bugs. This is exactly what I'm fucking talking about. And if anyone tries to fucking stop me from going from where I need to go, I'm going to tell them to go suck a dick, because that's exactly where they need to go. I don't need a fucking digital ID. I have a fucking driver's license. I have a fucking birth certificate. That is good enough. That is fucking proof enough that I am who I am. I don't need to to prove it to fucking nobody.
Yep. Well said.
Zen.
So
Probably the angriest I've ever heard from you, Steph.
the next step towards total control. So this is again, I can this puppet's armor unabashedly told citizens that their right to work, right to live, will depend on digital ID, which has been totally rolled out in the UK now. So you can't work, you can't get your benefits, anything unless you have digital ID.
I say, try and stop me, bitch. Try and stop me from getting a fucking job. Try to stop me from going into a grocery store because I don't have a fucking digital ID. Try and stop me, motherfucker. Not you.
Well, I think I saved this. Explain that exact. This is Bukele's response is both chilling.
That's the
And
Salvador guy, right?
Yeah, that's El Salvador president. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save that he has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This is Revelations.
I don't believe in that.
What the fuck you just said?
Well,
this is Revelations, a prophecy where where basically you can't buy or sell or eat food unless you have the mark of the beast, whether it be 666 or whether it be Satan's name on some chip, whatever that a mark is. But
yeah, because I saw this. If anyone watches The People's Voice, I mean, take what he says with a grain of salt, because he has a little kernel of truth and then a whole bunch of just shit that's he made up. So what he was talking about with this is, the mark of the beast. Well, some of us and most of us don't believe in Satan, so it's literally like people are like, oh, I can get a chip in my hand, I can get a chip tattoo, I can get a tattoo that I can just go and buy groceries with. No. And when you say something that someone doesn't like online, guess what? They shut you down. Now you're a non-citizen. You can't buy food. You can't buy anything. They want us in 15-minute cities where you will bike or walk everywhere. And if you go out of that city, you'll be taken to fucking jail. No, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I have a digital ID. It's called a birth certificate that I don't need to prove I am who I am. And you can't tell me I can't go nowhere because you don't have the fucking right to tell me nothing. Stop me. Try and stop me, motherfuckers. I will go where I want, when I want. If you don't like it, you can go suck a dick for all I care. That is what I've been saying literally the past several years. They want you in digital ID. They want you in 15-minute cities. They want to control your life so that you will literally own nothing, be happy, and eat sea bugs. Well, if you want to be a sheeple, then go be a sheeple. But I am going to be damned if someone is going to tell me what I can and cannot do and where I can and cannot go and what I can and cannot eat.
There you go. The long planned rollout digital ID, first set in motion by the COVID scan, will be connected to employment records, health records, banking records, create a total surveillance grid for taxpaying citizens to be monitored and have every aspect of their lives controlled, from what they eat to what they buy, where, and when. Any Brit who hasn't left their anarcho-tyrannical techno-dystopian hellhole yet for a place like Costa Rica, Montana, Bali, Serbia, or Mars, we are running out of options, will soon be a slave inside a 15-minute city monitored by an AI system with prompts from a power-mad nerd filled with the righteousness of the Georgian Guidestones. I'm not sure you guys know what the Georgia Guidestones was because it was destroyed recently, but
no.
Basically it was some enigmatic guy who paid for this company to build out these like slabs, basically, with that. You know what? I'm just gonna. He built the slabs that basically said, "Oh, their population needs to be 500 million. Any more than that, it's messing with the ecosystem of the earth, and blah 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 blah." So it was just. This is what it was. I mean, let me just do this. Yeah, I'll just show it real quick here. So this was the Georgia Guidestones.
Oh.
I'm sure that you guys have at least seen this, and you may not know what it was, but it was destroyed recently. So But yeah, it was done by some rich dude who never really gave his name, but he paid this company a few $1,000,000 to do this for him.
Right,
And
right, right.
then
And these were the stones that just miraculously came overnight. No one knows who put them there.
yeah,
And then it found
yeah,
out some rich guy who said, literally, we're going to kill a bunch of poor people
yeah,
because we think it's fun.
that's exactly what it was. Oops, I messed up, but hold on.
And then they got
But yeah,
taken
that's
down
what I'm.
because, oh, well, we're not supposed to tell the poor people. Jesus.
What does this mean? Europe is in the process of willfully catapulting itself into a catastrophic war. This will fragment society and could lead to revolutions within the EU, as the populace, already highly distrustful of the elites, burdened with destructive immigration policies, wealth-destroying taxes, absurd regulation, and a socialist economic and political structure, become increasingly restless. Ironically, revolution has already only been subdued by the existing welfare state providing for them. As this collapses, tensions will rise. So, Germany has proposed raising the retirement age to 73 to prevent the collapse of the pension system. A
Dear
new
God.
scientific advisory board under the German Ministry of Economy stated that there's almost no time left for reforms, according to the experts. Germany's
That's
economy has been
bullshit.
stagnating for
Such
years,
bullshit.
while the demographic situation continues to worsen. Proposal sparked outrage in Berlin. Just recently, Economy Minister Katharina Reich suggested that raising retirement age 70 or even that face heavy criticism. The
And
average
Ben
life
Shapiro, I
expectancy.
think, didn't he just say the same thing recently?
Oh,
Ben Shapiro on CNN.
Yeah, Ben
oh
Shapiro
yeah,
can go suck a dick. That's
He
because these
did.
people they don't need that pension. So literally, first of all, this is what's going to happen. I hate to cut you off. One more thing. So this is what's going to happen with Social Security. And my dad keeps saying, "Well, there's going to be a lot of Social Security guys. If they get rid of Social Security, we'll just march on Washington." You think the rich give a fuck? You honestly think the rich care? They don't give a fuck. They can kill you all with their fucking AI robots.
It's just
Yeah,
like the Bill King's protest.
There
Yeah,
will
that's
be
a waste of
no
time.
retirement. There will be no retirement. There
Yeah.
will be no Social Security. And it'll happen in our lifetime. 2030, guys. 2030 is not that far away. It's going to happen in our lifetime where you will work until you fucking die.
So this talks about the average life expectancy in Germany in 2023, 81 years old. So that means you barely get 11 years of retirement if you live to 81 years old,
You
which
will live till
is more
you
like
will literally work till you die. There will be no
which is
Social Security. Sorry.
which is likely in Germany because they have they have healthcare for all. So here in the U.S., chances you're not going to make it to 80 years old unless you can afford healthcare. This body is extremely poorly for European equity and especially bond markets. This is why the fanatic push to implement
Talking
digital
about
IDs,
CDC.
and then digital money is taking place. Look here's the thing with digital IDs. I mean, again, let me finish this. Digital money. So basically, you don't even have paper money anymore. You'll just have basic credits. Like, hey, you have 100 credits. Okay, so paper money is disappearing too. They desperately get rid of that.
No, I still got cash
Uh,
and I'll still use it. And if you don't like it, put me in jail, motherfucker. I
more
dare you.
more more and more businesses are only being they're becoming non-cash, so basically only accepting like debit cards and credit cards and cash app and stuff like that. The chaos coming to Europe possibly as soon as the end of the year, we'll see a rush for the exits. Let's see. Despite his problems, the U.S. will become a conduit for this, but in my opinion, they are far better undervalued opportunities. Governments tighten their grip to digital IDs, central bank currencies, and expanding surveillance. The window for preserving both financial and personal freedom is narrowing fast. The coming collision between state control and individual sovereignty will reshape markets, currencies, and societies themselves. So this guy is probably much more libertarian than I am because he talked about how socialism was bad and stuff throughout this piece. So
Oh.
he's definitely
Ooh. Well,
libertarian,
what is
but
their solution? Because it's capitalism that got us here, and
They
socialism.
prefer capitalism.
Yeah, they prefer capitalism, and that's what that's what leads to poor versus rich. Rich versus poor. That's what happens.
It's so funny when all the conservatives is like, "Oh, he's a socialist. Socialism is bad," but when they're asked about, they can't answer. So
Yeah, I was reading a
no,
book. I thought it was about the Great Reset. It was really just right wing talking points, where this guy
yeah,
was like saying about digital ID and stuff, and well, not digital ID, but he was saying about, oh, well, if you're a white male, blah, 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 then you're going to be discriminated against, and I'm going to suck my dick now because I'm a conservative. And he was talking about, I agree with him when he talks about that Klaus Schwab wants you to own nothing, be happy, and eat sea bugs. But taking it out on immigrants and diverse people, he, according to this guy who was writing this book, if you're a white male, you are the only one qualified for higher up positions. That's literally what
Not my America.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a person who probably watches Fox News and thinks it's real. And then he wrote a book about bullshit. And we're supposed to be, he actually said that Klaus Schwab hates capitalism. Huh? How does Klaus Schwab hate capitalism when that's the thing that got him rich in the first place? And he's like,
these people don't know fucking anything.
All these people in the politics, all these politicians are pushing all these communist shit. I went, excuse me?
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I literally got my credit back and gave him a 1-star for review for his stupid fucking conservative talking point book. Literally, communism bad.
So when they say all the stuff about communism, I'm like, do you not want healthcare?
I literally put in the comment section, I put, you're fucking dumb if you think that communism doesn't mean public owned. Trust me, Klaus Schwab and the rich don't want anything public owned. They want to own it. That's called capitalism. That's called late stage capitalism, where the very few have all the power and the rest of us ain't got shit, and we get shit on every fucking day.
Yep. So let's see. See if this works or not. It does. Okay.
Well, I totally shut my ex up, apparently.
Well, I thought I would. It's a couple of videos here I wanted to go to real quick. Okay, here we go. Snorkel Y2K says digital money is great when the internet goes down. Again, it's kind of happened now with Amazon. We talked about it last week when the AWD went down completely and knocked out half the internet because half the internet goes through Amazon.
And it was literally such a pain in the fucking ass because literally, I was telling Angel this, that I ordered some stuff through Amazon and it was just sitting there and waiting to ship and waiting to ship and waiting to ship. Yeah, so I took your advice and said, I talked to the guys on the customer service list, which is like talking to a fucking brick wall.
What did Stalin think of the United States?
Sorry,
the Soviet dictator often...
Hold on. Go ahead. Sorry. I wanted to have that there.
So, well, Stalin was he was a Christian. He was a evangelical, I think. Anyway, so I, sitting there. So I took your advice and told the customer service, I was like, please just, get rid of this, just cancel this order. Well, they didn't cancel it. They said they were going to cancel it. Okay. They said they were going to. Okay. Yeah, we'll cancel this. So I reordered. And guess what? They sent the first time. They sent the first stuff I ordered. So I got my stuff, but then they sent the stuff I ordered the first time. I'm like, you guys are stupid motherfuckers. Yeah, so today I had to, with my father, I had to take those boxes back and he got a full refund. Thankfully.
Yeah, you have to return. But this has happened occasionally. What happens is basically they never ship the stuff or it gets lost somehow in the mail. So you have to literally return it. You have to cancel the order, get your money back, and then reorder it. And it usually ends up coming. So let's see. This is Stalin talking about his thoughts on the United States. And quite frankly, I thought this was really well. I thought, I agree with most of this. So it's like I wanted to play it here. So,
what did Stalin think of the United States? The Soviet dictator often dismissed America as a country ruled by money, not by men, claiming that the much vaunted concept of American freedom was merely an illusion created by capitalists. Consistent with communist ideology, he believed that the U.S. was fundamentally driven by self-interest and greed. Stalin also predicted that the nation would one day be destroyed from within by racial conflict, seeing it as an inevitable outcome of its capitalist structure. To him, America's only true strength lay in its wealth, which he believed would ultimately become its greatest weakness and downfall.
All right, hold on. It took longer than Stalin predicted, but that's what's happening to the U.S. right now. It's our wealth that's destroying us because they don't share it with the rest of us. It took longer than he expected,
We're
But he
just
did predict
cockroaches
it.
that need to go away, and we keep reproducing, and they keep trying to stop us from doing that by giving us poisonous vaccines that make us sterile and stuff, and kill us by the millions. But who am I?
This is another video real quick before we get to the other stories.
Because the rich never
This
took
is
that fucking vaccine.
oh no. Fortunately, we got tricked into taking the first two, but I didn't. After that, I
I got
haven't
tricked
taken
into,
anymore.
yeah.
This is what Goebbels, propaganda chief for the Nazi Party, said about U.S. media. So just keep an open mind about this. I was like, holy shit, he's absolutely right about 99% of this. So
What did Goebbels say about Western media? He argued that freedom of the press was a lie, claiming that Western journalists were mere servants of Jewish financiers. To Goebbels, the media in democratic nations was not free, but rather a tool controlled by capitalist interests. He reserved special venom for Hollywood, which he dismissed as degenerate propaganda wrapped in glamour, a source of moral decay disguised as entertainment. The Nazi propaganda chief saw this as a fundamental weakness. He warned that democracies would eventually be ruled by the same tools they use to entertain themselves.
ruled by the same tools that entertain themselves. That immediately reminded me of Donald Trump. Because what was he before he got elected? He was a game show host. Like that's what he did. He was an entertainer.
Yeah.
So we were ruled by what we were entertained by one day, which came to pass when Donald Trump was elected in 2016.
Implying that a focus on shallow entertainment over serious policy would lead to their downfall. Goebbels viewed the West's focus on media and entertainment as a fatal vulnerability that would ensure its ultimate collapse.
Again, what's the news today? It's entertainment. MSNBC is a left-wing Democrat channel. Fox
That's what they
News
say
is
in
the
court.
right-wing
Yes.
channel.
Yeah, that's what they say in court.
It's entertainment. Yeah. It's not really news anymore. It's entertainment, which is why Goebbels, again, was absolutely right about the U.S. viewing everything as entertainment. It's like literally Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow got sued by, I forget who, I think it was Newsmax. Their lawyers argued, well, she's not really a reporter. She's an entertainment.
Right. That's the court case that they came out and said, oh, it's just entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why the case was dismissed, because the judge was like, yeah, I mean, she's not really a reporter. She's just a...
Is it sports entertainment?
No.
It's news entertainment. Let's call it...
No, they're just
call
pedophiles.
it news entertainment. That's what it is. News entertainment, not sports.
News entertainment with pedophiles today.
And Tucker Carlson got sued when he was at Fox, too. And the Fox lawyers argued the exact same thing. And Rachel Maddow did, MSNBC did it first. So it's like, hey, it worked for them. Let's work for us, too. And it was dismissed. But
he did it first.
Grapentine said, did you hear about the huge amount of candy found with fentanyl in it? The local state officials released a video statement. You can find scary shit.
I don't. First of all, it was put there by rich people. So if it was true, I doubt it. But they do. It's all the boogie. Be scared of everything. Oh God, there's anthrax in our fucking mail. Oh God, the COVID-19. Oh God, look over there. Ah, be scared of the boogeyman. Boo 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 boo.
I'm the boogeyman.
I don't know why I said that.
I hated that guy. I hated the boogeyman. I was like, ew, he's eating worms.
Yes.
Ew. I think I'm gonna throw up now.
Yeah, so I mean, I was surprised how much I agreed with Goebbels
definitely
there.
CIA. It was either CIA or FBI or somebody, but that's just a boogie story. Like I said about the Fox News thing, saying that poor kids going out and trick-or-treating and getting free candy, well, they're all just freeloaders, and we should get those kids back to fucking work. I mean, they need to earn a living too. Get those lazy ass fucking kids off of the fucking couches and get them back to work. Because that's what rich people think about your kids.
Talking about kids working, I mean, I think Ohio or a state like that legalized 15, 16-year-olds working 40 hours a week and working overnight too.
Yep.
So they were
you will work
again,
till you fucking die.
Again, they legalized it because child workers happened in the beginning of the 20th century, but we put in laws to make sure that's guess what? It's happening again. We're going backwards, in our history.
And they're doing this so that the rich people that they work for can go in there pretending to be, regular workers and can rape your kids and then leave. And everything's all good.
A Mexican journalist reporting on drug trafficking and security issues in Durango State has been murdered. The state prosecutor office told the AFP on Monday. The reporter Miguel Angel Beltran, what had previously worked in print media, was covering security-related issues on social media. Mexico is considered one of the most dangerous countries for journalists. More than 150 media workers slain 94. So yeah, if
their
you were
government kill him?
no, the cartels murdered him, which is basically the government. I mean, the cartels and the government kind of like this at this point.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Mexico is a narco state at this point, basically.
Grape, I know that. I didn't mean that. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, but I know the CIA is trafficking kids. I know that. I know that. Trust me, I know that. Like I said, I was just trying to make out that, it's probably the CIA that has been doing all this. And like I said, boogie, 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 making it scared. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
To fuck off and shit that. I don't get that.
I'm not, I would never be a shit lib.
No, I mean, we're not.
The Democrats do it too. Democrats are just as much as pedophiles as the Republicans.
Here we go. All right, so let's see. Here, I'm gonna keep this because
entry denied. You have criticized the government.
Sorry, last week you purchased too much meat and now your access to your money has been denied.
You haven't let the government know about this trip and your access is denied.
You have gone over your carbon credit allowance of food.
We can't open his own fridge
this week and your access to food has been denied.
A day in the life of UK school children 2035 with digital ID.
You have gone over your electricity allowance this week and your access is denied.
You have gone over your weekly travel limit and your access is denied.
So there you go. That's the video I was talking about.
Kind of reminds me of I think the movie was Demolition Man, when if you would curse, you'd be like, you are now fined 1 credit for the use of language.
Yep. That's exactly that's our future. I mean, I chuckled, but it's like, it's not funny because that's really likely what could happen in the next 10 years or so. Especially if you're living in the UK, which they already basically impose digital ID on everybody in the UK. So let's see. So yeah, the cartels and the government are like this. So they, the cartel, you pretty much said the government, local government murdered them because the cartels pretty much run Mexico.
And who put them in business? The CIA and the FBI and all those other people
in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope, Grape, that you're not mad at me. I mean, I know that the CIA traffics kids. I know that. I definitely know that. Yeah. So does the FBI. So does all those special, acronyms. It's one big trafficking ring. Trust me, I know. And they're gonna come after my son, and they're gonna have no dick.
By the way, this Twitter account that I got this from said, I'll show it to you. Hold on. It says, wrong thing prohibited, digital IDs 2030 agenda. You've talked about 2030 agenda. So,
yep. 2030 is coming, guys. It's only, what, a little,
5 years away.
well, less than, well, yeah, but we're at the end of 2025. Okay. So it's like 5 to 4 years plus from now. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, it's like that in the UK.
Driving me Macy. Yeah, I saw a little girl who was mimicking what's her name? The girl that didn't want to go to school, so she became an activist for the climate change. Greta Thunberg.
Oh, Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, she was like, if I walk home and I have to walk to a certain section or whatever, I'm out of my zone, and my mom can't come and get me because she'd be in another zone, and we wouldn't be able to, she wouldn't be able to get her from school, so she'd have to walk home, and literally no one would stop the person picking her up. They would have cameras everywhere, but no one would stop the person picking her up and abducting her and raping her anyway. So and she was like, "How dare you?" And I just started laughing because it was on the Greta Thunberg thing.
I respect Greta for what she's been saying about Israel and Palestine, and I heard not too long ago that they got her, or what they
did get her.
They had her or something like that, or whatever happened. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was involved in making sure that cocaine made it to.
Go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to put that there.
I still don't trust her because she still endorsed Joe Biden for 2020, and she still did some other stupid stuff back as well. It was a few years ago. Like I think she came back from like a meeting. Angel, you might have seen the video when I think it was Rebel News who was trying to interview her, asking her questions, and she wouldn't answer them at all. She just kept walking. I think.
I mean, I think we've seen it. So this is.
Jesus, everybody's mad at me tonight.
Oh yeah, Montel. Yeah, I know who that guy is.
This is from the Montel Williams show like 30 years ago. This is Gary Webb went on the show. We talked about him before. He's the one that exposed
as well, I think. So
yeah, he exposed the CIA for drug trafficking. He wrote 2 books about it. He had a 3rd book in the works, but unfortunately he self-deleted by shooting himself twice in the back of the head. So that's the alleged story about how he died. So
bad cookies.
I was involved in making sure that cocaine made it to the streets of South Central LA back in the early 80s, and then helped to develop and turn it into crack, which was then spread across America, and is the reason why most of our inner cities are in the plight that they are in. And a lot of this has been out there for years.
Oh, by the way, Montel Williams dated Kamala Harris at one point, if you've seen the pictures of them together.
So that's just gross.
It wasn't until recently that the story broke again, and my next guest is a reporter, not from San Diego, California, but from San Jose Mercury News, and he wrote a story called The Dark Alliance. Please welcome Mr. Gary Webb to the show. And Gary, this really, I think the current fervor over this issue is because of your article. A lot of people may not be familiar with what the Dark Alliance meant and stands for. Why don't you tell America what the story is about first, and then we'll talk about the issues.
It was about a cocaine ring that operated along the west coast of the United States throughout most of the 80s. And they were funneling, they were selling cocaine in South Central. They were also selling it in Oakland. They were selling it in San Francisco. They were selling it in San Jose.
And how did it get
some of the money they were making,
because a bunch of rich people made it so.
By the way, his paper fired him because the CIA told him to, and he ended up being destitute, writing a third book.
If anyone talks to Grapentine, just tell him I didn't mean anything by that. I know the CIA are bad, but yeah, it's like every year they always want to, boogie about candy, and that's because they don't want poor kids to literally go trick-or-treating and be freeloaders.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant. So if anyone talks to him, just tell him that I didn't mean anything by it.
I don't know why he overreacted like that. Hopefully you're still there, man, because it's, we definitely are not shitlibs.
Support an army that the men who ran the cocaine ring worked for, called the FDN. This was an army that the CIA started in 1981 and supported.
Better known to us, most of us who remember news, the Contras in Nicaragua. So go right ahead.
The men that were running the cocaine ring were top officials of this Contra army. And what we found was that they were selling this stuff in South Central, which is, predominantly black section of Los Angeles, immediately before the outbreak of the crack cocaine epidemic.
Hey,
they started
racism. Let the Negroes smoke and smoke crack. Not the white people. Good white people. No, let the Negroes smoke the crack. So they let them addicted to crack. So we can put them in prison and lock them up even more. And right after this,
and
the
white
crime bill was
people
passed.
that do it just as much as the black people, guess what? We're just let them off the hook. Oh, go do drugs, you white people. Go,
In fact,
go fuck up your life.
The sentencing between white people convicted of crack possession and black people was like half. Like black people got half more time than white people did, and historically. So
you're fucking sick, man.
selling powder, tons and tons and tons of powder cocaine was going into this one small area of the city.
Did she have one glove on?
From there, they sold to Freeway Rick.
I don't know if he's referring to the audience.
Took the powder,
there's a black girl.
And starting in 1983, 1984, began distributing it to predominantly the gangs, the Crips and the Bloods in Los Angeles. And they spread it,
Crips and the Bloods or CIA operatives. I mean, I've kind of been I've been thinking about that for a while. Ever since I saw Gary Webb, I've been trying to get hold of his book. I can't find it anywhere. I'm not sure if they're suppressing it or what, but I can't find his book anywhere.
From there.
Now, since this has happened, you have butted heads with everybody in Washington D.C. trying to get information about the story. Have you not?
Yeah, we worked on this for a year, and it was only because some people at National Archives believe freedom of information means freedom of information. We got some documents that showed that pretty strongly that there were some CIA connections to this.
Let's talk a little bit about those documents for a second, because there's a gentleman, this figure that we talked about yesterday on the show. His name is Blandón, Danilo Blandón, who was a person who was a member of the aristocracy of Nicaragua before the fall of Somoza, and then he fled and comes to the United States and decides while he's in the United States, so you can all understand this, he wants to raise money for the revolutionaries who are trying to overthrow the government that just overthrew them. So here in the United States, they try to do fundraisers, and that doesn't work. And then Blandón gets a scheme. Well, I can get some cocaine cheaply with some help from some of my friends and get it into the United States of America. All I need to find is somebody who can sell it. So they find a gentleman by the name of Rick Ross, who is Freeway Rick. Rick Ross comes in and starts selling cocaine at the terms beginning 1 or 2 grams. And within weeks, 2, 3, 4 kilos a week. Within months, what was it, 10 to 15 kilos a day. Ricky Ross was selling cocaine to the point of making $3 to $4 million a day. He sold so much cocaine, it hurt his fingers to count the money. Not only in Los Angeles, but in Cincinnati, in St. Louis,
well, back in the 80s, that's
America.
what you did.
So
You did
some
cocaine.
can say, and this is the reason why people are so angry.
Their entire songs on cocaine.
Yeah, there's Eric Clapton song called Cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine was such a designer drug in the 80s. Powder cocaine, not crack, but powder cocaine, that everybody did it. Like if you were alive in the 80s, you did cocaine if you were adult, even teenagers. So it was like a standard thing. Today we have Adderall, so basically legal cocaine. So
yeah, basically.
You in your article is that Ricky Ross, the dope dealer, was supplied by the CIA because Blandón was an operative for the CIA, correct?
Blandón and Meneses were working for an army that was...
You get the point. Gary Webb was a real reporter and actually broke the story, and he ended up dead not long after. He was fired from his paper. He was basically discredited, and he eventually ended up committing self-deletion by shooting himself twice in the back of the head.
Oh my God.
I've never heard anybody that's deleted like that in my life. Maybe
I don't know how could you even shoot yourself twice like this?
No, I mean you shoot yourself once like that, you're probably going to be dead. So he got himself twice. He managed, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Sounds like it sounds like he was assassinated by the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
But the CIA will proudly put out commercials of DEI women talking about how proud they are to work with the CIA, or
No, it's just like ICE. There's there was a story that broke about ICE. Taking immigrant kids, getting them naked, and parading them to the place where they were going to put them in the vehicles to take them away. ICE, CIA, FBI, all these guys are just trafficking kids. They are literally taking immigrant kids and molesting them.
Does the DNI count as well?
Yes, everybody. ICE, DNI, everybody.
The problem, people are telling me, or not telling me, but telling ICE agents to quit ICE and not to go to ICE. But ICE is offering.
That's on Raw. Sorry, on Rumble. On Rumble, I see commercials. Hey, join ICE. I'm like, why would I want to join a bunch of pedophiles?
Yeah, commercials from Christy Noam.
Most of it. Well, they're offering,
and they're offering a bunch of money for you to become an ICE agent because it's fun.
That's the issue. It's literally the Hunger Games. Like, hey, if you become an ICE agent, we'll give you $50,000 upfront bonus.
Upfront bonus. So you can rape as many kids as you want, and we'll look the other way.
And most Americans are poor, so it's like, hey, $50,000. I mean, I can use the money, so hell yeah, I'll help deport a bunch of illegals. I mean, I need the money, so who cares?
But you better look the other way when your best friend over there or your friend, your coworker is raping some kid. You better look the other way. You better not tell on ICE.
Yeah, that's the trade-off most likely. Trump suggests U.S. strikes on alleged drug shipments on land are coming soon. President Trump on Wednesday suggested that U.S. strikes on alleged drug shipments on land could be coming soon amid the U.S. bombing campaign targeting boats in Latin America. Trump has made similar comments before, and according to multiple media reports, the U.S. is preparing to bomb Venezuela with the goal of ousting Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, and is using cracking down on drug trafficking as a pretext. Here's the thing: only 0.5% of drugs that are coming into the U.S. go through Venezuela. So this makes more sense if you're going through Colombia, which, by the way, Trump is kind of he's
Even though they
saber
don't want
rattling
to
with
do this time,
Colombia.
we'll try it again. It'll be successful.
Colombia, isn't that where they get all the cocaine to bring to the
Yeah.
United States?
If you're gonna do this, it makes more sense to go after Colombia this way. But he hasn't. He's starting to do it now. Trump, he hates the new president, so he's starting to saber rattle with Colombia too.
Because
So
he's not sucking the dick. Come
yeah,
on. That's why they overthrow these governments.
the former president was right wing during Trump's first term, and he loved Colombia. Now that the president's much more left wing, they just elected. Now all of a sudden, full of drugs. Colombia's full of drugs, and we have to do something about it. I can't do Trump's accent, but
That was good. That was good.
So thank you. Trump made similar comments before, according to multiple media reports. I already read that. The president claimed that the White House had legal authority to launch the strike. No, they don't. But Congress hasn't authorized the bombing campaign, which the Constitution requires for launching a war. They don't. The presidents don't care about that anymore. I mean,
Yeah, they
Congress
literally haven't done that since World War II. And
yeah,
that
they
was
haven't.
just, can we please go bomb Germany? Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, that was right after Pearl Harbor, which allegedly FDR allowed to happen in order to justify the entrance into World War II.
Justify his entrance, right.
Yeah, because the country was against entry to the war, so that's why FDR couldn't do it politically. But they allegedly, this is allegedly, the FDR found out like weeks before, but just let it happen because that way it justified the entry into the World War II.
Kind of like 9/11. They
there you go. I was
justified
just gonna
it,
mention
and
that.
Bush didn't do anything about it. And
But-
guess what? Now everyone rallied around Bush, and we had 9/11. So, yeah.
So the U.S. has done this. They've done this before. I mean, during 9/11, the U.S. found out about these attackers 5 years before Clinton was president, and they knew about these hijackers who came to the U.S.
Because they were brought into the United States by officials at the government agencies like the CIA, the FBI. Everybody knew who they were. They still let them in. There was a woman who, she's still in a top position, gave them a stamp of appeal, a stamp of approval, and let them in the country. They knew exactly who they were.
Yeah, and they tracked them, but did nothing to stop them. And the attack happened, and that justified entry into Afghanistan and Iraq and all the Middle East. All the Middle Eastern attacks they've done in the last 25 years. Blah, blah, blah. And Trump said he may notify Congress of the plans to launch strikes and land targets, but didn't say he would seek authorization. So, oh yeah, by the way, I'm attacking Venezuela. Okay, so just letting you know. So it wasn't even going to ask for authorization. He just like, oh yeah, I'll let him know eventually. We will hit them very hard when they come in by land, and they haven't experienced that yet. But we're totally prepared to do that. We'll probably go back to Congress and explain exactly what we're doing.
Tough guy, Donald Trump.
When they come to land, the president said. The president previously told Congress he believed the U.S. is now in an armed conflict with drug cartels. Trump has framed the airstrikes as self-defense.
It's none of our fucking business.
Yeah, large number of drug overdoses in the U.S., but they are primarily caused by fentanyl and other synthetic opiates, which don't come from Venezuela, something Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky been very critical of the campaign has pointed out. There is no fentanyl made in Venezuela, not just a little bit, but there are none being made. These are outboard boats that in order to get them to Miami would have to stop and refuel 20 times, which is true. I mean, these are tiny little boats. There's no way you can make it to Miami from Venezuela. So the story makes no sense. It's all likely going to Trinidad and Tobago. There are a lot of reasons to be worried about this. Number one is the broader principle of you can kill people indiscriminately when there's a war. That's why when we declare war, it's supposed to be done by Congress. It's not supposed to be done willy-nilly. When there's a war, you just kill people in the war zone. There are rules of engagement, Paul added. They don't care. Again, and on top of that, you know who started the extrajudicial killings? Obama did. He extrajudicially killed 2 Americans, if you remember. It was Elmore Anawaki and his son.
But many American presidents have been getting away with what we call international war crimes. And it literally, what Jimmy would say this, Jimmy Dore would say, every president since World War II would be convicted of war crimes and be beheaded.
In The Hague. Yeah, they would all be
Yeah, it would be in
convicted.
The Hague, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it may have, the thing is, this is just, the breakdown of this is they don't want a socialist country to survive, because guess what? If you see a socialist country actually thrive like it should and it would, the United States would be like, well, we want that too. Why can't we have that? And then they're like, oh no, we have to have capitalism because, freedom. We have freedom. They don't have any freedom. No, yeah, it looks like they have a lot of freedom. They have a lot of freedom to move where they want, go where they want, buy what they want. Yeah, so they cannot, this is all comes down to the fact that they do not want Venezuela to become a socialist country, because literally a socialist country right now would literally lead to the downfall of capitalism, which is what they love because it makes them very rich.
The Bolivian Bolivar.
Trump supporters or conservatives should figure out that socialism, communism is good and capitalism is bad, but for whatever reason.
That's the thing. The revolution started by what's his face? Hugo Chavez, been around for 25 years now. Hell, the Bush administration helped with a coup of him right when he first became president, but the country shut down. It was like a general strike until Chavez came back to power, and they finally brought him back like 3 days later or 2 days later. The country, as a general strike. I mean, I know, like, nobody worked, nobody did anything until Chavez was brought back to power, which he was eventually. They had no choice because the rich people weren't making money. So it's like none of the workers, they all refused to work until their president was back in power. So,
well, and that's the point of, having a socialist society or a communism society, but everyone goes, oh, communism bad. Do you even know what that means? No, I just know it's bad because mommy and daddy told me.
Because
mommy and daddy are wrong. It just means public owned. If you'd actually look up stuff and do your research, you would know that communism just means public owned.
Yeah, the reason why we all get propagandized is because they teach us about Stalin, teach us about the Soviet Union, and they teach us about China, communist China, not horrible. Why am I forgetting his name? The founder of communist China.
Oh God, you want me to think that far back? I'll tell you about 4 o'clock in the morning when I think of it.
I remember his name right now, but yeah, communist China and communist Russia were all horrible, and you had no rights and stuff. So it was propaganda, But
well, there's still propaganda going on with the Chinese party.
Cowboy Kitty.
Because they're literally saying, "Oh well, China has a social credit system," but people in China are like, "What the hell are you talking about? Mao? Was it Mao?"
Oh, Mao Zedong. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Kai. And hi, Kai and Kitty.
Ow.
So.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Now I feel bad. I don't know what happened with Grape and Time, but wow.
Yeah, I don't know what.
What?
Grape and Time. Yeah, you just.
Like totally called me a shit lib and told me to go fuck myself. I was like, what did I do?
Yeah. So the U.S. has killed 34 people, extrajudicially executing 44 people at sea, according to numbers released by the Trump administration, without providing evidence to back up his claim about the targets. Sources told the Washington Post that any airstrike in Venezuela would likely first target alleged trafficker encampments or clandestine airstrips, but the regime change remains the ultimate goal. There's no turning back unless Maduro is not in power, a person familiar with the administration's liberation told the Post. The U.S. has built up a significant force in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and has flown heavy bombers, special operation forces, helicopters near Venezuela.
What's our problem with Maduro? What is he doing?
Apparently, I don't know what. Well, he's a socialist leader, and they don't want socialism to take over because, boogie. You might actually have the American dream if you had socialism or communism.
So apparently, the U.S. didn't care about Martin Luther King Jr. or MLK.
Well, look what happened to him.
Well, MLK was assassinated.
And they still don't know who shot him, and they're never going to know. You're never going to know who really shot
MLK. Was assassinated. Malcolm X was assassinated. RFK Jr. RFK was assassinated. RFK Jr. RFK was assassinated. JFK was assassinated. A lot of political executions in the 60s, starting with JFK.
Because they were talking about freedom for not only the black man, but also freedom for us all. They were talking about, Medicare for all, that we could all get the health care we needed. And then the rich went, oh, no, 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 we can't do that. No, that's only for rich people.
Isn't it funny how after Biden got elected, we all stopped talking about Medicare for all? Isn't that weird?
No, that was part
That's
of
exactly
it. The thing is, what they did to Biden is literally, it was elder abuse. And what they're doing to Trump too. But then we got the puppets and the puppeteers, the puppeteers the question is, where is Elon Musk on all this? Wasn't Elon Musk going to clean up the streets and wasn't he going to do all that shit?
Where's he been the last?
Oh, he didn't mean it. That's right. He didn't mean it because he doesn't give a fuck about poor people.
But you brought up Elon Musk. He went on Joe show. He was some Doge. So
that was all professional wrestling. Elon Musk became a heel or a baby face for Elon Musk fans.
As JR would say, why Elon? Tell me why you son of
a
Triple H.
The U.S. is hoping by raising the bounty on Maduro's head to $50 million and increasing military pressure, someone in the circle will turn on him, or he will step down voluntarily.
Yeah, that's really going to work.
And the U.S. continues to move toward a full-blown war in Venezuela. So, after the next war...
because they couldn't do their coup d'etat. They couldn't do that with Juan Guaido and Maduro. They hate Maduro because he is literally a socialist who gives back to his people, just like, the Cuba guy. Fidel Castro. Thank you.
But don't forget, Bernie also hates Maduro, even though he claims to be a socialist as well.
Well, he's not a socialist. He's just a sheep herder for the Democratic Party. Yeah, it's literally when it comes to Venezuela, it's like this. Again, you either let them be a part of what they are, or you just, oh no, we can't let socialism, it's like, the Russian thing with communism. Well, they had to go after communism. They had to go after Russia. So that's why we had the Cold War.
They're doing the same things that liberals would do. Russia. That's what they're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Venezuela.
Socialism, communism.
Yeah.
We don't know what those words mean, but we're just going to say them and go boogie, boogie, boogie.
So this is Pete Einer, the oldest U.S. colony in the newest war. She's on the Trump administration's use of Puerto Rico.
I think Macy's referring to you.
Huh?
No, the Macy's comment. This is a joke.
Which of her own?
More of it.
Well, Macy, like I said, if anyone talks to Grape in Time, I did not mean anything by that. I know the CIA is full of child predators. So if you could just kind of tell them that I didn't mean anything by it, and I'm not a shit lib. I know the CIA is bad. I know the FBI is bad. Everybody.
We're not shit libs here. I mean,
yeah.
He's been watching.
Everybody knows the CIA is full of pedophiles.
I don't know what made him go off like that, or
it's literally like Nick Rivera, who's been going off on Indy for some reason. And I was like, you know what? He went off on me over something I said, and maybe, whatever his religion is, it's fine. I don't care. But you're not going to sit here and slander my religion for bullshit like that. And all I said was, this is kind of what this means. This is the history. And he went off on me, started calling me all these fucking names, came on Pro Wrestling Talk, calling me all these names. And I was like, all I did was say that Saturday is not Satan Day. It had nothing to do with Satan ever in its lifetime, and it was called Saturn's Day because Saturn was Kronos.
What does Graventine want to do?
What? I talked to Graventine. He said he wants to put a curse of endless erections. Well, I don't have a dick to suck, so I tell him that's not going to work.
When President Donald Trump announced the CIA had been authorized to conduct operations inside Venezuela, just as U.S. drones struck another small boat off Venezuela's coast, few people in the United States realized that much of this militarization begins in the soil of a land denied his own sovereignty, Puerto Rico.
Remember, Puerto Rico's bad too. Remember that.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. The island has...
It's okay when on the rich side, but all those poors, they're just doing drugs.
Yeah,
You know, that's how they
Puerto
feel.
Rico has become the land of the rich white guy and the natives desperately
And they
trying
want to push
to
them
scratch
off
out a
just like
living.
they did with Maui and Lahaina. Literally, they want to push them off.
The island has lived under U.S. rule since 1898 and is once again being used as a staging ground for U.S. militarism.
Miss Witchy,
This time for
Fupa? What? What's Fupa?
Chairman Meow. Okay.
Oh, so it's Mrs. Witchy, not Miss.
Time for Washington's latest war on drugs narrative, masking a campaign of coercion against Latin America's independent governments. After invading Puerto Rico in 1898, the United States quickly turned the island into a strategic military outpost, the Gibraltar of the Caribbean is called, with naval bases in Ceiba, Roosevelt Roads, and Vieques, designed to dominate the Eastern Caribbean and protect the new artillery of the empire, the Panama Canal. This is U.S. General Nelson Miles and other soldiers on horseback in Puerto Rico in July 1898. Onward, Puerto Ricans were drafted into every major U.S. war, fighting and dying for a flag that still denies them full citizenship rights. Meanwhile, the island lands and waters were expropriated for bombing ranges, naval training, and intelligence operations. For 6 decades, the U.S. Navy used Vieques as a live fire.
It's not even wrestling talk.
Wrestle talk. No, wrestle talk's on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday, because we have Saturday night's main event.
No, this is Angel Reaction every Friday. So
Fupa means she has a dick they can suck. Oh, no, I don't. I can prove it, but right now I don't think that would be good for our audience.
No,
I can prove I have a pussy, but I won't do it here. Okay.
Yeah. The
but
U.S. Navy used
you can join the club.
The Show Your Pussy Club.
No. You know which one I'm talking about.
So for 6 decades, the U.S. Navy used Vieques as a live-firing testing ground, dropping millions of pounds of explosives and munitions, including napalm and depleted uranium. The result was environmental devastation and one of the highest cancer rates in the region. It took a mass civil disobedience movement to finally force the Navy out in 2003. But they're back.
Yeah, I mean,
20 years
like the
later.
Army and the Navy, whenever they go somewhere, they have to kick them out too, because they're actually worse than the people that were the most corrupt they've ever seen. Yeah. I usually hear stories about that. Like, oh, we had to kick the Army out because they were worse than the politicians or whatever.
Yeah. The victory proved Puerto Rican's capacity for organized resistance, but the structure of the empire never disappeared. 2 decades later, the same bases and runways are being reactivated. In 2025, Washington quietly expanded military operations on the island, deploying F-35 fighter jets, stationing P-8 maritime patrol aircraft, and rotating Marine Special Operations units through Puerto Rican ports and airfields. The official justification is counter-narcotics operations, quote-unquote, but the timing and scale point to something far larger, a regional military buildup aimed at Venezuela.
Yeah, this is all just... they just want an excuse to go in there, just like 9/11, just like Pearl Harbor, 9/11. They're just trying to get an excuse so we can just say, okay, drop the bombs on them. It's just like Japan. Ask Japan about the fallout from the nuclear bombs that we hit them with. Literally, people had cancer for years. They're still dying of cancer.
Yeah. We stole Okinawa from them. We controlled it until very recently when Obama gave it back to Japan, like decades after World War II. So, and by the way, there was an epidemic of U.S. soldiers raping Japanese women, and there's nothing that the Japanese government could have done because they controlled Okinawa. So
absolutely.
So finally, in 2013, Obama was forced to give it back to Japan, but we have our base still there. By the way, we had not left Okinawa, but. The Japanese government finally controlled.
We're still in Germany, for fuck's sake, and I think Hitler's dead.
Yeah, Hitler's been dead since 1945.
No, actually, Hitler's been resurrected in one of those WEAI videos.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
The aggression is now extended to Colombia, where Trump has cut off all U.S. aid and accused President Gustavo Petro of being a drug leader.
So are
the
you,
announcement
Trump?
came days after the Colombian president denounced the U.S. drone strikes off the Venezuelan coast, one of which he warned hit a Colombian vessel and killed Colombian citizens. Instead of accountability, Washington answered with insults and economic blackmail. Well, of course.
Oh, insults. Oh, wow. They're a bunch of children.
The Trump administration designation of a non-international armed conflict with drug cartels give legal cover for drone strikes and covert
Is
missions.
that Tulsi Gabbard in the black suit right there?
Wait.
This is
Beside
Colombia's.
the bald guy?
No. The one between the two men.
Oh, well, the one with the glasses on? I don't think so.
No. The black suit.
Black suit. The one going like this?
This is Colombia's.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cabinet meeting. Yeah. I don't think she would be there.
Oh, okay.
No. That's Kristi Noem. It says here. This is in March with U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. So that's who you're probably referring to there. The Trump administration, blah, 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 gives legal cover for drone strikes and covert missions far from U.S. territory. Puerto Rico's colonial status made it a perfect staging ground, a place the Pentagon can operate freely without congressional debate or local consent. For Puerto Ricans, this militarization is not an abstract issue. It means more surveillance, more environmental risks, and a deeper entanglement in wars than ever chose. It also signals a return to the same imperial logic that made Vieques a bombing range, using occupied territory to project power abroad. Puerto Rico remains the oldest colony in the modern world, a U.S. territory where the people are citizens but not sovereigns. They cannot vote for president, they have no senators, and possess only a symbolic representative in Congress. That absence of sovereignty is what makes it so useful to the empire. A gray zone of legality where wars can be prepared without democratic consent. This is not This is not the first time Puerto Rico has been used as a military springboard. Its bases have served as logistical
look at what
hubs.
They're doing with. Sorry. No, go ahead.
For interventions across the hemisphere, from the U.S. invasion of Dominican Republic in 1965 to Grenada in 1983 to Panama in 1989.
Yeah. It always seemed like Puerto Rico somehow becomes the middleman between this. But here's the thing. Imagine in America if we were all just sovereign, but we couldn't vote for anything. We couldn't do anything. We pretty much are just, well, you're citizens, but you're not citizens. Imagine if that happens. And it will. When you get your digital ID, I won't be in fucking jail or dead because I'll say, try to stop me from going in this grocery store, motherfucker. I don't need a digital ID. I got a literal birth certificate. That's my ticket. That means I can go in any fucking grocery store I want because I have the freedom to do so.
Each of these operations were justified through Cold War rhetoric, the defense of freedom, stability, and democracy, while systematically targeting governments and social movements seeking independence from U.S. control. Puerto Rican-born Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez has warned that history is repeating itself. In a Newsweek op-ed, she reminded Washington the lessons of Vieques, that the island's people already paid the price from U.S. militarism through condemnation, displacement, and neglect. So again, she's writing instead of actually doing something in Congress, she's writing a Newsweek op-ed. Like that's supposed to, like Trump is reading that, and
that's not going to help your people. Your people are dying from starvation and literally lack of treatment. They're still cleaning up from what was the one that was down there in Puerto Rico? I'm so sorry, Maria. Is that the one that devastated Puerto Rico?
Maria, yeah.
And Trump was throwing towels at them. I mean, come on. Help your people. Please help your people.
Next thing you know, she's going to write a strongly worded
letter. Oh, how dare you.
Yeah, that's basically what it was, a strongly worded letter.
Oh, there's a letter. Let's see. Okay.
That's not going to do anything. Yeah, just go.
Our people have suffered enough from military pollution and colonial expansion. Puerto Rico deserves peace, not more war.
Something about it.
That's what she wrote in Newsweek.
It's like what Kevin Nash said. What are you going to do about it? You're going to do nothing.
Do something about it. Don't just sit here and write a stupid op-ed that everyone agrees with you. Now do something.
Her call aligns with the Caribbean, Latin American nations and CELAC, which has declared the region a zone of peace. Yeah, like the U.S. cares about your little declaration, basically. The buildup around Venezuela follows a long-standing pattern in U.S. foreign policy, where a nation asserts control over its own resources or refuses to obey Washington's dictates. It becomes a target. Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua punished for exactly that. Sanctions, blockades, and covert operations functioned as mechanisms of domination to keep the hemisphere open to U.S. capital and military reach. Puerto Rico's place in this strategy reveals Washington's core hypocrisy. It wages war abroad in the name of freedom, Didn't I read this already? I might have read this already. And this looks familiar.
No.
I think I
don't
did.
remember this. I'm listening intently. I am. Because
Uh,
I think this is complete bullshit. Did you say your family is in Puerto Rico as well, Angel?
yeah.
Or you have
Yeah, I have
family
family
members?
down there. Yeah, I have family down there.
You were born here though, right?
Yeah.
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have okay.
Yeah.
So how does this make you I just want to ask you quick. How does this make you feel that they're literally using your family members as pawns?
Well, it's infuriating, of course. I mean, but here's the thing: there's not much. Basically, I have an aunt and uncle down there, so they spend half the year in Puerto Rico and half the year here in Camden, where they have a house too. So in the summers, they come back and forth depending on when it's warm here. When it's cold here, they leave. Because my uncle literally can't handle the cold because last time it was here, it killed him. So they just fly back and forth depending of the
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I go visit them when they're here, but they're in the winter, like now, they're back in Puerto Rico. So,
Right.
yeah, it's infuriating because they're
They're
literally
just
they're both
innocent people.
retired.
They didn't do anything wrong. They worked for all their life. Are they retired now?
Yeah, they're
Okay. So they
my
worked
uncle
all their
like in his
lives. They
70s.
they made a good living, obviously. So they have two
Mhm.
houses and can fly back and forth. And we should treat them as much. Stop treating
Yeah,
these people like
but
they're fucking cattle. I hate this.
and my uncle always has issues with his Social Security in Puerto Rico because they
See?
don't process his payments, or if they do, they're always late. So he has to go to Ponce, where the Social Security office, and fight with them all the time. And I was there that one of those times, which is why I know what he goes to in order to properly get his check every month. So Puerto Rico to be easier. So it's like they don't care about Puerto Rico. I mean, U.S. definitely doesn't care because they don't even bother doing Social Security payments properly.
Yeah.
It's governed. So its people are governed without full representation. It's land used for war. And the same thing by Venezuela, Cuba, and every other nation that refuses the right to determine its own future. The struggle for peace, sovereignty, dignity in West America runs through Puerto Rico's shores. When the U.S. drones take off from Caribbean airstrips to strike Venezuela, they fly over the ghost of Vieques, over the land where Puerto Ricans once stood unarmed against an empire. Puerto Rico deserves future peace, environmental healing, and sovereignty.
Don't
And
ask.
Venezuela deserves the same right to live free from siege, to defend its independence, and to build its own destiny without fear of U.S. bombs or blockades. To defend Puerto Rico's right to peace, and to defend Venezuela's right to exist. Yeah, I think I did read
Right.
this because she's part of Code Pink and stuff, but I didn't. But must have been
That's
reposted
okay.
or something.
This bared repeating because I mean,
Yeah,
literally,
definitely.
they're treating the poor people in Puerto Rico like cattle. They don't give a fuck about them. And that's why
Nope.
I my heart goes out to you and your aunt and your uncle. And I just there's nothing I can do. If I was rich, I would give to your aunt and uncle. I would make sure that they have what they need. But I'm not rich. But
Yeah.
that's just me. I wouldn't make a horrible rich person because I actually would help the poor.
Yeah. So real quick before we get to Russia, I mean, so this is a new plan.
Russia.
Because U.S. opposes an Israeli plan to distribute Gaza aid near IDF soldiers. So this is a new proposal by Israel. A proposal presented by Israel to hand out aid along the so-called Yellow Line, the temporary Israel-Gaza border, where the IDF soldiers are stationed, is opposed by the U.S., sources familiar with the details said. The Americans believe the aid distribution should occur deep inside Gaza Strip.
Because it's really not
The
going to be
U.S.
aid. They're just
opposes it.
because here's the thing. Yeah, you want to get aid to people in Gaza, but here's what's going to happen. They're not going to do it. It's going to be Survivor, the real game.
Yeah, they're going to kill them like they've done many times. This is for target practice when they
Yeah, they
show up to
literally are
get the
just
aid.
making excuses. And of course the US I don't think the US is opposed to it. I think
No,
they're
they're
just
not
pretending
opposed.
to
They're
be
just
opposed to it
yeah.
because they're like, hey guys, you can't really just shoot
You
people.
can't just murder
And they're
people.
like, well, we're going to. And they're like, oh, okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I didn't mean to bother you.
Okay, no shit. The United States is opposing a plan submitted by Israel for distributing humanitarian aid in the Gaza Strip. The Israel Defense
Hi,
Forces,
Jackie.
U.S.-backed, hey Jackie, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or the GHF, has proposed a plan to which 10 or 20 points will be set up along the so-called Yellow Line, the temporary border along which the IDF is deployed. The plan is backed by the same officials who have pushed for GHF operating in Gaza. The proximity to the Yellow Line will allegedly allow the IDF to secure GHF operations. So basically, they want to put all the aid here in this yellow line here, where the IDF is all posted.
I'm not pointing to it. I'm not pointing to anything. Point. Okay.
So they want to put all the aid here. The IDF is all around here. So basically, their new plan
it's like
is the
Survivor
old
the real
plan.
game.
It's their old plan. The Americans made it clear they believe this plan is unrealistic and that distribution of aid should be done deep within Gaza Strip. The U.S. contends Gazans should not be expected to travel long distances to reach aid distribution points along the Yellow Line, and that the plan will lead to clashes between the IDF forces and locals, which is the point. Since the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas was signed, the IDF has opened fire on anyone trying to cross the Yellow Line. The IDF also had fired at Palestinians approaching as soldiers. The U.S. is considering several plans to aid for Gaza. Two officials told Reuters last week.
Like telling them to go fuck themselves. That's going to be aid to the Palestinians. Jackie, to answer your question, back in the 90s, I know SNAP was just food. If you wanted diapers or hand soap or anything like that, like the stuff you kind of also need to keep clean, it was not provided for by SNAP. Excuse me. It was literally just you had to buy the food. Yeah, it was just food. You couldn't buy like diapers or formula or anything like that.
I'm old enough to remember before the EBT card, you had to have a packet with literally said food stamps on it, and you paid with that.
Right.
I mean, that's how old I am. But let's see. Let's finish this. This is all the trucks carrying all the aid, or they're stuck there at the border because Israel won't let them in. In May 2024, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation began to lead
that fraud organization.
Yeah, that's the one we discussed. Where I theorize it there that they're telling the IDF when they're giving out the aid so they can shoot them. They can shoot at the Palestinians. Began leading efforts to the Strip to recover, receiving support from U.S. and Israel, despite unclear sources of funding and lack of experience and reports of mass casualties at aid sites areas after operations began. According to the Hamas-run Health Gaza Ministry, 2,300 people were killed near aid sites in the Gaza Strip since May. Thousands more reportedly been wounded. So that's a new plan. And the U.S. it claims they're against it, but they won't actually do anything to stop the U.S. to stop Israel.
Is it a Trump?
Yeah, I mean, this is, and I keep seeing these horrible images of kids in Gaza, and this just makes me literally want to just cry. I mean,
it's infuriating. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm getting a call from CPT International. Oh boy, my handler just calls me.
Yeah. So this is Russia says it will respond if the U.S. starts testing their weapons. President Trump ordered the Pentagon to test nuclear, though it's unclear if it meant nuclear explosion or nuclear-capable missiles. Russia on Thursday warned that it would respond if the U.S. began testing nuclear weapons. Comments that President Trump said in a post on Truth Social that he had ordered the U.S. War Department to start the test. Oh, by the way, Trump is tweeting, basically posting out very important policy decisions on Truth Social. Like, he's not telling the media. He says, you know what? I have my phone. I'm just going to post whatever the fuck I want. And that's how I'm going to announce policy changes.
Is David Camp writing articles like every day?
It seems like it. I usually use his
articles.
Like
a shitlib guy, though?
No.
He's not? Oh, I'm sorry.
He's like a lot more libertarian.
Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of somebody else then, who like
he's an anti. I think he's an anti-war libertarian, but I could be. I know he's anti-war, but he might. I think he's libertarian.
Are you thinking of that mustache guy? He had issues with Jimmy Dore and Ron Placone. I forget his name.
Not Lee DeCamp. Not Lee.
No, I wasn't thinking of him.
There's somebody else.
God, what the fuck was his name? No, I'm not talking about him. No, it was I don't know who I'm thinking of. Maybe Dave. Something else. David Axelrod. That's who I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
It's unclear. It's unclear. It's unclear from President Trump's post whether he meant testing a nuclear-capable missile, something the U.S. does regularly, or actually detonating nuclear bombs, which the U.S. hasn't done since 1992. The president said he's ordered the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons on an equal basis as other countries. Russia has recently tested a nuclear-capable missile and a nuclear-capable underwater drone, but there has been no known recent detonation of nuclear weapons by any nations. Since the 90s, all nuclear-armed states, except North Korea, which last detonated a nuclear bomb in 2017, have maintained a moratorium on detonating nuclear bombs.
And guess who they're going to drop those bombs on, people? Us.
And
The
when,
United
Oh, well,
States is a
sorry,
sovereign.
city XYZ. Sucks to be
and
you.
once again, Brian Williams will be guided by the beauty of our bombs.
Oh, the beauty of our. I'm
Yeah.
going to jack off now. Oh, God. The beauty of our missiles.
The United States is a sovereign nation, has the right to make sovereign decisions. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in a response to Trump post. However, I would like to recall President Putin's repeatedly stated position. If anyone breaks the moratorium, Russia will respond in kind. The U.S. and Russia are signatories to 1996 Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, the CTBT, but has not been ratified by all parties, including the U.S. Russia ratified CTBT in 2000, but revoked it in 2023, saying it was mirroring the U.S. position. Both powers have ratified the 1963 Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, which is enforced and prohibits all nuclear test detonations, except for those conducted underground. Peskov also said Russia hasn't received any notification from the U.S. about a future nuclear weapons test, and that Moscow wasn't aware of any other country that had recently detonated a nuclear bomb. In his statement, President Trump mentioned other countries are purportedly involved in testing nuclear weapons. Until now, we are unaware that anyone's engaged in the testing, he said.
Well, they have the rich have what they call underground bunkers that look just like like they have a house or an apartment that looks just like their apartment above ground, and they can just go there when the nuclear war happens. So that's what they're counting on.
Yeah. In fact, the U.S. government has built out hundreds and hundreds and thousands of miles of underground tunnels and cities.
Right.
And they're clearly preparing for something. But
bye, poor people. Have fun.
They're definitely preparing for some sort of catastrophe or something. I
remember when Tulsi Gabbard, when she was running for president, she would repeatedly talk about how had a warning, a nuclear warning, or seek shelter. This is not a drill. Talking about nuclear war.
I mean, really, where can we go? We can't go underground.
But now
we ain't got that kind of money.
Of course, she doesn't mention it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, she's like, oh, fucking sucks to be you, poor people. Bye. I'm going to my underground bunker now.
But she'll be like, aloha.
Yeah, aloha.
Daryl G. Kimball, the executive director of Armed Controls today, strongly criticized Trump posts and noted that it would actually take years to actually resume the detonation of nuclear weapons. Trump is misinformed and out of touch. The U.S. has no technical, military, political reason to resume nuclear explosive testing for the first time since 1992. It would take at least 36 months to resume contained nuclear tests on the ground at the former test site in Nevada, Kimball wrote on X.
I don't think he's misinformed or out of touch. I think that's
they don't want to do. They want to do it on the poor people. Oh, let's see what this poor people city will do.
Trump is just.
I never saw body parts like that do that before. That's what
Trump is just. He's just shit posting on social media. He doesn't know. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just shit posting. That's literally what he does.
They really don't drop bombs because they're literally going to use us as target practice.
It would take years to even start the process.
As Jimmy Dore would say, they bombed so much they ran out of fucking bombs.
Yeah, that was Obama. Yeah,
during the Obama administration. Yeah. So I'm gonna let's see here. Oh yeah, before we wrap up, I wanted to get to this, but I forgot. ICE. Yeah, I think you guys know about the story about ICE and this company that that fired him. Hold on. Update. The man who filmed this video of ICE making a violent arrest at Menards has now officially been fired from his job. So the video is this one. This is the video I'm sure everybody saw. Menards told employees to delete any videos they took of ICE raid or will be fired. Manager told contract security guard to delete his recording of the arrest. He refused. Video showed agents shattering both truck windows to drag the man out, detain him, and take him away in an unmarked vehicle. The incident took place at Menard's location in Cicero, Illinois.
No
So this
offense,
is the
but thank
video.
goddess they weren't kids. Because guess what they would do with kids?
Mm-hmm. So, according to Menards, the reason why they fired him, here's the. I'm not sure whether. Hold on, let me see whether I can. Yeah, I can
Dodgers
make
have
this
a
bigger.
3-0 lead against the Blue Jays right now.
Oh wow. To Ricardo Blank from O'Brien Associates, Human Resources, regarding the termination of employment. Ricardo, I'm writing to inform you employment with O'Brien and Associates is being terminated as of Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. Due to the following. October 28, 2025, you're scheduled to work from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. as a door guard. Shift there was an incident that took place in the parking lot. You took it upon yourself to leave your designated post without approval and go in the parking lot. When asked by your site manager, Michael, what are you doing? You stated you were watching ICE. You were instructed to go back to your position at the door. A moment later, ICE is doing their job, and you proceed to argue with ICE employees
By beating
and
up
are
poor people.
recording the situation as well. The argument turned to the point where you were almost pepper sprayed by them. You once again told to stay in your position, leave your position once again into the parking lot. Again, you were told not to leave your position by the site manager, Michael. You became extremely uncooperative and says who? Site manager Michael informed you to go home due to your insubordination and failure to follow directives and violate policies. Once instructed to go home, you threatened Michael, your site manager, by saying "make me" to him in response to you being sent home. So this is
Wow, imagine that
why he
you
was
get
fired.
fired for actually capturing these animals, treating people, poor people like shit, and you are the one who gets thrown in jail or gets fired. Imagine
So
that.
he was
We
fired
live
from
in
his
a
job
fucking
for
police
filming this
state, guys.
video.
If it's not ICE, it's the fucking police forces. This is your local cops. Your local cops can beat you up and they don't have to say they're sorry. They don't have to pay your medical bills. They don't have to fucking do nothing except for throw you in jail for a crime you never committed. And they can beat the fucking shit out of you for no fucking reason. How does that make you feel, guys? Yeah. Does that make you MAGA guys feel all warm and fuzzy inside that the cops that are supposed to protect and serve you are literally lapdogs for rich people who want to kill you and leave you beat up by the side of the road? How does that make you feel?
Blue lives matter, right?
Yeah, but blue lives matter because it's okay for them to go home to their families, but fuck your family, right?
It reminds me of that cop in 2020 when he gave that angry rant. It's like, stop calling us thugs, What world are they coming from? That
and Jimmy Dore's like, shut the fuck up. Go suck a dick.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he said. Yeah. I know. I love that. That was like one of my favorite rants from Jimmy. He's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. We're not animals. We're not bad people. And then they show clips of police.
People calling us.
We deserve respect. And then it shows like just a bunch of people getting beat up by cops. A bunch of poor people not doing anything. And there's one guy going, don't resist, bro. Don't resist. He's like, I'm not. And there's a cop just beating the fucking shit out of him. And he's not resisting. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I hope MAGA feels all warm and fuzzy inside. So when you get beat up by a cop, you just blame your fucking self. You blame your fucking self because that cop beat you up for no fucking reason.
It's like, I blame myself. I deserved it.
Yeah, I deserved it. I should have put my self up by my boots.
Oh my God.
So the United States is continuing their bombing campaign in Somalia for no apparent reason because they still haven't explained why. Allegedly,
it's really funny. Trump got troops out of Somalia the first term. Then Biden brought them back in, and now Trump's
keeping him in there. Allegedly, there's Al-Shabaab terrorists in Somalia, which is why they have to keep bombing there, even though Al-Shabaab.
That's like saying, there's Hamas. Hamas is still doing. What did I see on Rumble the other day? Hamas is still doing terrorism. I went, fuck you. Hamas is made up.
There's like 12 Hamas left. They're all dead.
Invented Hamas, or they created Hamas.
Yeah.
And they were nothing. They were just innocent people.
Yeah. The U.S. launched airstrikes in Somalia.
You could tell Hamas.
3 consecutive days, according to press releases from U.S. Africa Command. The Trump administration continues to bomb the country at a record pace. AFRICOM said it launched airstrike on October 26th that targeted Al-Shabaab about 25 miles north of the southern city port of Kismayo. The same day, the U.S.-backed Somali government said a precision airstrike, quote unquote, killed an Al-Shabaab leader, though the town said it was
isn't there
targeted.
a Somali American running for I don't know, Congress in
I think so.
Minnesota? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, because that's Michigan though. About Dearborn has been taken over by Muslims. The entire town is full of Muslims
Oh
now.
no, Muslims! Oh no!
Boogie boogie boogie.
So
Boogie,
they're
boogie, boogie.
So a lot of white people are kind of melting down living in the city. So they live in the Dearborn area. So it's like, oh, by the way, my issue, it's like some Muslim organizations there in Dearborn endorsed Trump, and I'm like, but Trump, because Kamala Harris wouldn't say she ended genocide, but Trump didn't say that either. So it's like, why endorse Donald
and
Trump?
everyone, and what makes me laugh is like, someone, some shit libs were saying, "Oh, how do you feel now, Muslims? You literally voted for Trump thinking he was going to stop your genocide." And I'm like, but Kamala didn't fucking do it either. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and when we were wanting, or not we, but when people were wanting Donald Trump to do something, you told us to fuck off.
Yeah, you told us to fuck off. So fuck both sides.
Yeah. It killed an Al-Shabaab leader, though the town said it was targeted in Bulal, which is more than 100 miles north of Kismayo. So it's unclear whether it was. AFRICOM offered no other details about casualties, estimates, and assessments of potential this year. Details about units and assets will not be released. Continued operation security, the command said. The command also announced 2 separate strikes in Somalia northeastern Puntland region. Launched on October 27th and 28th, AFRICOM said both strikes targeted ISIS affiliate in the region were launched about 53 miles southeast of the Gulf of Aden port city
Remember, it
of
was
Faso.
confusing when Obama wouldn't say ISIS, but he would say ISIL.
Yeah, because ISIS is actually an Egyptian goddess.
Yeah, so Obama started calling him ISIL.
I mean, he was so Christian that he couldn't even say Isis, who is an Egyptian goddess. He's like, oh God, I can't say ISIS.
Puntland's under the control of the backed federal government, so the U.S. backed forces in the region. AFRICOM previously announced airstrikes in Puntland on October 24th and 26th, as Puntland security forces said they were intensifying operations against ISIS fighters, hiding in caves in the Khao Miskad mountains. Puntland officials claim that ISIS militants are largely defeated, something they've been saying for months, but local sources told Gorau Online that the militants are still entrenched in the area and have resorted to guerrilla tactics and are constantly moving between caves and valleys. That sounds familiar, like in Afghanistan. The U.S. had dramatically increased its airstrikes in Somalia this year. The latest 3 strikes, bringing the total of U.S. bombings in the country this year to 89. The Trump administration has shattered the previous annual record of airstrikes.
Bombs again.
Yep. So Trump administration, in fact, broke their own record. They, which President Trump set back in 63 back in 2019. For context, President Biden launched a total of 51 airstrikes in Somalia throughout 4 years in office, and President Obama launched 48 over 8 years.
But you know who's really happy about that? Hillary.
Yeah.
All the rich are happy about it because what they do over there, they will do over here.
The U.S. has been fighting al-Shabaab since the group first emerged in 2007, a year after the U.S.-backed Ethiopian invasion that ousted the Islamic Courts Union, a Muslim coalition that briefly held power in Mogadishu. Al-Shabaab was the offshoot of the Islamic Courts Union, and its first recorded attack was a suicide bombing that targeted Ethiopian troops occupying Mogadishu, which is the capital of Somalia, by the way. The ISIS affiliate the U.S. is fighting in Puntland started off as an offshoot of Al-Shabaab, then first emerged in 2015. So, yeah, so we are bombing Somalia for reasons. I guess allegedly there's some few terrorists there.
All about the oil, that's why.
Yeah.
We know.
So, yeah, we know that, but, I'm just like, this is what our tax dollars pay for.
Yeah.
bombings and murder
And all you MAGA people, I saw this on X. They should wear that for Halloween. They should wear that costume that says "Fell for it again."
Yeah, we saw it in the group.
I saw. Did everyone see that?
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, that's cool." I think Snow Himbo put that on. I'm not sure.
It was,
or was it
no,
Mad Crab?
I think it was Lem. The one that the profile picture.
Yeah. Somebody put it up there.
That's why I wanted to talk about. Sorry, real quick. Sorry. That's why I wanted to talk about digital ID because, like, literally, Mad Crab was talking about it on their show, and I'm sorry, I just had to talk about it. I was like, wow, this is really fucked up.
That's fine. I mean, hasn't the Supreme Court basically given the U.S. president power to do what the hell he likes? Yeah, the U.S. president has immunity. It have immunity for whatever they think is official duties. So all the U.S. president has to do is declare, "Oh, I thought it was official duty." No prosecution.
Yep, and
that's the only
every
standard.
president is a terrorist. Every U.S. president has been a terrorist.
Yep. So let's see. What else do I say?
Well, remember, every Muslim is a terrorist. Remember that.
Yeah. But not our government. Our government is, freedom and bullshit.
Yeah, we all. I mean, U.S. history has been genocide and war and indiscriminate killing. Let's go back to the Trail of Tears, and they genocided Native Americans, basically. Let's go back to...
Everyone forgets that.
Let's go back to the Mexican-American War, where they stole the entire Southwest in California, too, from Mexico. So after we won the wars, give us all Mexico and war. So they had no choice to give it to the U.S. So in a peace deal. So that became New Mexico, Arizona, California, Colorado. All those states ended up coming into the Union after that. So, and then the Civil War, where we killed each other over being able to keep black people as slaves.
Right.
So
slavery. What did I see? I think Mad Crab showed this. I was watching something on Jim Corbett's show where they were talking about how psychology came to be, and literally psychology, the so-called experts, that the therapists and stuff, were literally during the Civil War, literally were saying, well, slaves just need to be re-educated because they have a mental problem, and that's why they want to be free. That's why they keep running off the Underground Railroad. It's just because they have mental issues, so they need to be reprogrammed and stuff. So once we get them so literally, and this is what I agree with, I would not go to a therapist if you have problems like depression and stuff. I would never go to a psychologist or a therapist. I would rather deal with my own fucking problems than be told, well, you just have a mental condition called blah 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 XYZ. So here's some fucking pill that can leave you like a fucking vegetable and a little sheeple who believes anything. That's literally re-education. All that depression medicine, literally, it doesn't fucking work, and it makes you more suicidal. Imagine that.
What SRIs or SRIIs, I think they are, where those depression medications that allegedly cause people to delete themselves and stuff because of that's the whole point. I mean,
that's the whole point. That's what they want you to do because you're poor and you're depressed. So just kill yourself. The rich don't even have to lift a finger. They get shit, they did it themselves. Just kill yourself. Just go ahead and delete yourself, poor people.
SSRIs, like, I go nuts about SSRIs and how they would just, causing people to delete themselves and stuff. He had this rant about it where
just to respond to that.
Go ahead.
Django Unchained is one of the best movies ever. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
Jamie Foxx and
I don't really like a lot of Hollywood movies because a lot of them nowadays are just propaganda.
I barely watch it myself, but I do like that movie.
Like I mentioned before, there is this upcoming true story film about Palestine. I mentioned last week.
You mentioned that.
That's a documentary.
No, it's not a documentary. It's an actual film.
It's a film. Yeah,
it's an actual film.
Yeah. It's with Jeremy Irons and that Game of Thrones. That Game of Thrones actor. I don't remember.
Liam. It's it's basically Oscar bait. They made a movie that voters for the Oscars would like, so it's like Oscar bait. They give me the best picture for the Oscar for best picture, you know.
I was
So
gonna say, does it really tell the truth about Palestinians though?
Well, it's
I
getting a lot
don't
of
know.
positive reception, or at least when I looked at the trailer on YouTube, there were a lot of positive comments about it. So,
All right.
Well, I haven't
Well,
seen the movie, so
but
I
I mean,
can't
there's
tell.
even back. If you ever seen a movie called Cast a Giant Shadow, a lot of propaganda,
you
but it
mentioned
tells on how Israel became a state, but a lot of propaganda in there because they made the Arabs the evil people. Oh, they're killing Jews indiscriminately, and that's not what happened. The Jews literally took that land themselves by killing Arabs. But again, this was what 1960 or whatever, probably like 1950, 1960 movie, probably
Yeah.
1960, where again, they had my favorite actor in it. That's why I like it. But I mean, I'm saying I've seen it. And I'm like,
which
who?
actor?
Yul Brynner.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Yul Brynner.
Yeah. So the film. So what was I gonna say? Yeah. I mean, Israel. In fact, during World War One, I mean, this is a random tangent, but World War One, we and Europe promised, in order for the Arabs to fight the Axis powers in World War One, we promised them their own state. It's like the big giant, like Arabia, like an Islamic state from where it became Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, all the way down to right to Asia. Instead, what did we do? We lied to them. We took the land for ourselves. We called it Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, um, Saudi Arabia, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
we promised them their own state, and of course we lied to them. And it turns out when we drew out the map, Sunnis and Shiites were together, even though Sunni Arabs and Shiite and Muslims hate each other.
Mhm.
So it happened in Iraq. The only reason why they weren't more fighting because Saddam Hussein took power and basically scared the shit out of the population. So there was no
Well,
remember
here's
when?
what
fighting
the
anymore.
shitlips are pissed about. The shitlips are pissed that Bill Burr, I never found Bill Burr to be funny, but Bill
No,
Burr
he's not. I
and
never did either.
Well, of course, Bill
David
Burr sold
Chappelle
out when he did
went
this
over to
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi and did a show.
Yeah. Yeah, and they all melting down about it. I thought Bill Barr was on our side. And the shit libs were just
Well, no,
melting
no,
down
no. What
over it.
Bill Burr did was awful, because he contradicted. He was being a hypocrite, and then
Well, yeah, he deserves the criticism. I'm just saying that that's what they're melting down about.
oh,
Not,
Stupid.
they're not melting down that people won't get food stamps tomorrow.
okay, yeah.
No,
They're not melting down
I
about homeless people and the fact that Brian Kilmeade literally said he wanted to kill homeless people, or that the rich
no.
should kill homeless people.
It's literally. I've not seen a single video from these PMC liberals about Snap. At least, unless I missed them. I don't really follow them regularly, but I
Don't
did
don't
look to
forget.
some of their.
Remember when WWE was trying to tell us it was a good thing to go to war in Iraq? Remember that?
Oh yeah, Vince was. Oh, Vince put out the propaganda that
Oh
Iraq
yeah, even
and
wrestling was part of that
Yeah,
propaganda. Look how it
yeah, yeah.
exploded the war
It
in
was
Iraq.
Scott
yeah,
Steiner and then this other guy. I don't remember, but they had
I
the
mean,
debate.
remember, and WCW did it too. Remember when Hogan was so jealous of Jesse Ventura because Jesse won the governorship of
he became governor
Minnesota,
of Minnesota. Yeah,
and then he's like, "Well, I'm going to run for president." So they did this like Hogan was running for president skit.
yeah.
It was
In order
awful.
to satisfy Hogan's ego, yeah. So they had
Yeah, it
him like
was
fake
awful.
running
Like
for
he came out
president.
in
Yeah.
these big boas and stuff. I'm like, what the fucking hell is he doing? He's not running
But of
for
course,
president. What does
but
he
of
stand
course, like
for?
I
Why should
mentioned,
we vote for you?
it's not the same Jesse Ventura today. So
No, no,
No,
no.
no, they got
Unfortunately,
to
not.
him.
But,
They
but
got to him.
yeah, I just, yep. So, anyways, I do have to go. It's like 9:20. We're like way over time. So I just love having the conversation, and it's like, oh shit, it's 9:20. I just noticed. So yeah, I want to. Hopefully, the snap situation gets solved because if not, like I've said before, it's going to be a run on the food pantries, and they can't handle all this extra people, coming in for
Yep.
all this food. Here in New
You
Jersey,
think
what we're doing. What? Go ahead. Go ahead,
you
real
think
quick.
that COVID-19 was bad? You wait till no one has
Yeah.
their stuff.
No. Yeah, that's going to be worse
Real
because there's
quickly,
going.
on
oh, there he is.
uh, speak of the devil, Sunday,
Yeah,
7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to do pro wrestling talk,
we're
and
definitely
that's
doing it.
because
Yeah.
we both have to watch Saturday night's main event. But if we could talk about we'll talk about Saturday night's main event, but if we could also talk about the fact that TKO I know we talked about it before, but it bears repeating because they were talking about it on Jim Cornette's show how AEW is letting poor people in, but WCW and TKO or what did I say? WCW? Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
WWE. I meant WWE. WWE and TKO are literally saying, fuck poor people. We just want the rich here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're turning it into the NFL, Major League Baseball, MLB, like just for
remember
wealthy
I made the joke that DX has turned into the corporation.
Yes, yes, you did.
Because Shawn Michaels and Triple H control WWE now,
and
or at least
and Road Dog, right.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, my dad and I looked up. This was for New York, but we couldn't get Hershey because Hershey was already sold out. But my dad asked me how much is tickets, a front row ticket to Raw, and we had to look up New York because they didn't have any in Hershey, PA. Okay, which is about an hour from me, right? That's where we would go to see wrestling. So we looked in front row tickets for it was row four. In New York is literally $350 a ticket. I shit you not. You can't make this shit up. We literally looked it up. I'm like, Dad, it's for almost $400.
But
with all the taxes and fees on top of it, it would be $400.
Yeah, because Ticketmaster has their fees and their service fees and their convenience fees and shit like that. So it definitely, and taxes definitely were $400 a person.
Yeah.
I bought like 20 years ago. I bought a WWF ticket, front row seats. It's $150 per person at the time.
Oh my god!
So, and it was for
Raw.
Raw.
That's not as bad today, but thinking 20 years later with inflation and stuff, that was a lot of money back in the 20 years ago. Back in the 90s.
My first WWE event was in July of 2003. Of course,
mine was
that's when Kane tombstoned Linda McMahon.
I think mine was it was 2002 sometime.
Yeah,
I got to see Triple H and Kane. And I was the only one prepared for, for Kane.
That's the main.
That was the main event. Yeah, it was in Hershey.
Vince says, "Come to my office. I'll give you some tickets."
No thanks, Vince. I'm going to stay right over here in Pennsylvania.
We do really have to. We do really have to go.
Vince McMahon's evil mustache. Why did you dye your hair?
No, he looks like Odie Skunk. He looks like like Pepe Le Pew. People have been memeing that.
Yeah.
They said that on Jim Cornette's show that they have been memeing the hell out of that.
Yeah.
He looks like Pepe Le Pew. I said, don't throw him a black cat.
Yeah, remember, Pro Wrestling Talk is on Sunday at 7. We'll be watching Saturday night's main event. I wonder whether Jesse will be
on at 8.
I wonder where Jesse will be there at all, because it seems like they're reducing his role in Saturday night's main event now.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't even commentate any of the matches.
The last one, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he really didn't do anything. Poor Jesse. I feel bad for him. I mean,
I don't know whether they're
like
even going to use him.
70-something years old, and they're like, nope, sorry, Jesse, we won't let you do anything. Like,
that was after the Drew McIntyre match and this cage match where he did that commentary where he why would he do that? It's a steel cage match, he would just pointing out the flaws. He's pointing out the flaws in the logic.
Yeah.
So.
Remember when Drew McIntyre kind of butchered his name? Drew McIntyre.
Well, and he was talking during they were explaining the rules of remember the cage match, and he was talking, and they're like, Jesse, they're explaining the rules. He's like, oh. He thought it was funny.
So they took him off commentary. Hopefully they put him back in this time, or hopefully we see him. That's the thing. I'm afraid they might not even use him at all, because they reduced his role big time in the last one.
Well, they'd have to come to some kind of conclusion with NBC that, sorry, we can't have Jesse on anymore. He's too old. He can't do it. Something like that would have to come up, and then NBC is like, well, let me suck my dick, and then we can do it.
Yeah. So yeah, we really do have to go. It's like almost 9:30. So we'll talk about this more on Sunday. Hopefully we'll see Jesse in some capacity tomorrow night. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. So main event is CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the world title. They're vacant.
And also Sunday, my driver William Byron's fighting for the championship Sunday. So just
are you able to come on Sunday because you're watching the race?
It'll be after the race. So
okay. Oh. All right, so we'll see you guys Sunday for Pro Wrestling Talk. Angel in the afternoon next Friday again at 7 o'clock. which I'm sure we plenty to talk about. We have plenty to talk about every week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you push that like button. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice weekend.